Hey, for Mitchell, it ain't broke.
So does Mike. Ready?
Mike, give me a second. I just want to say this.
Test 1, 2, 3, 4. Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4. Test 1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay, should be working. Let me show you a picture. Wow. Come on.
Hey, Zaffros, I want to watch the end of it.
We gotta go here.
I know I still had songs. I still got this whole time. 58 minutes.
Go to country music this year. One of them really experience. Big and loud. Yep. Yeah. I was in country music for a long time. Really? I didn't know it.
And are you driving on to St. Charles tonight?
I've been a disc jockey in every format of radio. Really?
Did you get it? Did you
All
finish that
broadcast.
tour?
The final one.
Oh, yeah, I'm doing that. I'm down past and showed me the weight.
Okay, that's good. It's good
Where
sign.
the weight is, the kids can change there.
Yeah, okay.
And then,
Then that board or something. Okay,
yeah, the weight challenge spinning board.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
well, there's only like about 30
exactly. I'm going to be on the road.
But it's pretty interesting there. Yeah, right there, on there, yeah.
It's impressive, yeah. I like it. Robert, move to the other side of the building. I'm here. They need to focus. All right, damn it. All right.
Back it out.
So I get here about 7. I get okay, no dancing.
We will be full car.
And there's all these people hanging out outside.
What up here? Yeah.
People in the white jacket.
It's here.
It's here.
Yeah. Or if we're talking over each other.
And then I kind of waved this at him. I said, I need to do this.
Okay, so you guys are comfortable in your spot here? I'm not sure.
We got to tear it all down. Yeah. Scott's taking off.
You guys are good. That's the old Jewish name.
Head, look, shit,
All right.
head, look, shit,
Yeah, just a lot.
head, look, shit,
Yeah.
Too bad he's an attorney. You probably can't sit him.
Okay, you were Tom Erickson is?
Yeah. Oh, he's around here. He was at Port Salad.
I don't need video. He's for sure driving. You got to and you'll put this in your arm. No, Dan, so you're going to okay.
I can.
Zipper bag is that? Yep.
We might stay another extra day. I can't.
You can stay as many days. Okay, all right, Dan will bring her back. No worries. And I'll see you tomorrow sometime. Yeah. But call Brad if you have any questions or questions.
big bag that you're using to stash all the stuff. Okay.
I'll help you tear it down. I've done it. Here's the big guy here. That's your staff. He's taking off. Snow blizzard in Iowa. He's taking off. He's trying to beat the snow.
I need an outlet. Can I plug in down here on this side?
So you got.
Ready.
The LED screen up there. It's got some amps on it.
16 minutes.
Those are.
That's all we need. We got to concentrate up here. Everybody's distracted. Like him, Todd. That's what he's just screaming.
Roly poly boly.
So it's got a rhyme, of course. Those are just, yeah, he wants me there.
You went there?
Yeah, he wants me there, so I do the dial.
Oh, okay.
We're on right now, but the volume's all down.
Okay, I was like,
No, you're fine.
I picked it up.
No, you're fine. However you want it. You two here, he just told me, he said, Steve, you can do it forever, so I know where to put these guys.
Okay, let's
Don't hurt him. He's a monster.
I know. Yeah, I tell that story a lot about those stuff.
He toss them around like bags of potatoes. It's almost scary. I felt myself. I almost got a little frightened. I was like, oh, I'm just waiting for his coach to come out. He's got a good story.
Okay, do we want to go on at 7:30? And then we'll go through the bracket.
7:30, 7:45. I'll let you choose.
Well,
15 minutes might be okay. I'll let you choose.
well, the thing about it is, we already told people to go on half an hour before that, even if we sing.
I do 14 tournaments this year, so that's why I don't mind it. It's off for tonight. You only get to do one tournament, or you do radio out there too.
No,
I just assume you have your fun.
Okay, well, let's sit and talk for a minute.
I got 9 more this year.
Yeah. Okay, now I had my bracket in here.
I know it. Where are they? Here's some bill. Look. Girl, go get them. We need 3.
Logistics, what it takes to keep 10 healthy guys. You know, we actually have I was looking through all the panels, but you're like 3 or 4 of the fastest falls in there. Can you see that? 8 seconds.
Pirate took my pin. Yeah. Pirate took my pin.
Oh, yeah.
So I got 20. I'm all Pirate.
Really? I think my 13 was. I got Perry in this extra. What are you doing?
Bring that in 8 pin or not? I promise you I'll give it back to you. They had pins earlier they were giving us. Okay, stop. Thanks. Remind me and you can speak. I'll bring it back to you when I'm done. If this is his, let me know if he needs it. I'll bring it right back to you. Thank you.
There's some upsets. He's a good guy. I just saw him.
They get to see wrestling, but not the finals.
It's just easy for me to talk instead of I appreciate your text. It's starting later tonight, too, just because the Big Ten Network is televised live on satellite TV and cable. So the starting time, because of that, it's bumped back to 8 instead of 7, so they have an hour of pageantry before they sounds like the old Coliseum. They got the same blowhorns in Chicago as they do in Ames. But because of the pageantry, the wrestling usually doesn't start for an hour after that. So it's after it's just a piece, and I'll be surprised we don't get out of here until we need to have a little bit. I did it in about an hour or two. I've been doing the whole show. I guess
While he's doing that,
Scott took off because of the snow.
well, you got it because, I've got another.
I just said it here.
You don't necessarily need. I always write mat numbers and the circle and the X.
Yes, I got to do.
I have a scribbled out scratch sheet. Thank you.
Pretzel one is right over in that.
That's the one I came past.
Yeah, I think they got pretzels, so.
So that's all. And then we leave tomorrow, or you want to leave the next day?
Nope, I'm good.
Yeah, how are you? I only have one job. Need a bracket? We actually have one extra, I think. We really do, yeah. I'd like to get a picture of you two next to
Circle.
Yeah.
What teams could move and certain things
All right,
happen.
I'll let you know.
Teams can get top 10.
I got 4 kids. You can go to themat.com. Listen to us. I've been telling everybody about the Christmas. All right, see you later. And then this year I get.
Okay, Steve, let's huddle up here for a minute, okay?
Yeah, make a plan.
Yeah. Steve and I have been through the same times, but here's what's going to go on. Let me get Steve here. Okay.
We're making a plan. Hey, she's prettier than you guys. I'm listening. I'm talking to Anna.
Okay.
I'll talk to you later.
What we've generally done is had a primary per weight class, and so it's like picking out the ones that you want to do, like
You got to
whatever. But yeah, heavyweight would obviously would be one.
Big guys in that one would be good.
I pick out 3 that I like, but we'll do that in just a minute, so we'll get that. And as you know from this year, we got 3rd and 4th year and 5th and 6th year. So the main guy focuses on, the others focus on them as well, but they keep up to date with.
Yeah, we tried to.
The person on one side will watch 3rd and 4th, the other does 5th and 6th. So
You've got to have set a Guinness Book of World Records for the longest conversation. How can you talk that long?
Yeah, it just happens.
hey, when this thing started, I did this by myself. I did 22 hours of constant talking over 2 days.
What was it called? The amateur wrestling?
Amateur wrestling show, right? So, but yeah, and I haven't stopped talking since. So we'll pick those out, but the point is that we also want to give updates, and generally it's a finger point, like, if you're doing that one, you point that way and you give the 3rd place, and it's up to the person who's the central person to decide when there's a break in the action, and then we'll try to get like that, and that works out real well. It's all done with hand signals.
When I do the championship, I don't mind other people paying.
No. it's not that they do it on their own. If you've got something to say right, you do that. But people also want to hear about what's going on at 3rd and 4th and 5th and 6th, and we can't all be going like that. So,
right, because it doesn't make any sense to listen.
Yeah, right. So that's not excluding
they're on the radio or home or driving. It doesn't make any sense.
The other thing with this, and this goes back to the way it started, you can do whatever you want, but the way I look at it, especially in the finals, is that this is a radio show. I mean, it's an audio show. So we need to be the eyes and the ears for the people who are listening to us. Okay, they want to know what's going on out on the mat. Okay, and that has to be our.
You want to know how popcorn sales are doing?
Yeah, I mean we don't want 3 or 4 minutes about the popcorn from here and all that stuff. They want to know what's going on the mat. So let's we've had our chance to talk and say all the things that we want to say. Now people want to know.
We had a few more though. Every time we had a couple more things.
Yeah, but we have our show which is going to start in 10 minutes. So we're going to have plenty of time.
30 minutes.
But even in addition to that, they're going to have the Grand March. So you're going to have an hour. We're going to have an hour to say everything that we want to say. Okay. So once the matches start, we got to be the eyes and the ears.
Sounds good. We're ready.
Yeah, and Tom's got some good things he was showing me that he likes to do about teams to keep up and down all that stuff. Yeah. We want to do all that stuff. Yeah. Okay. So we should be all set, and we've had good broadcasting. The one I'd like to take, unless you have objections, is with Arnett. 125 this Garnett, the Virginia Tech guy that I know, and then the 2 Maryland ones, Sheptock and Boley. And just because I used to live close to Maryland.
And it doesn't matter. I'm ready for any. I wouldn't mind doing Cologne Ramos.
Okay, well, you're one take the heavy weight, right? That's an obvious.
And Atwood. Now, Atwood was. What weight's Atwood? He's 84.97.
Yeah, he's going to be me, though. I'm going to have Atwood against Boley.
41.
Okay, yeah, you want to do Rodriguez?
Okay.
Yeah, I like that. You bring that point out there. You have 4 seeded guys getting to the finals unseeded.
Yeah.
Okay, let's go. Who wants to take 33? That's going to be Ramos.
Steve Foss.
Steve Foss. Okay, we got 41 for Tom.
I'll take 41.
Okay, then we got 49. That's the Grajales Minotti match. That should be your match. Who wants it?
I'll take this.
Okay.
Talking about, talking the whole time. How he's making a statement.
Yeah, I mean, and like I say, this is his breakout time. I mean, I think this is a great
St. John Walsh?
Yeah.
Okay. Although Walsh is, no, he's Indiana, but...
Yeah, it doesn't matter. I know him. I talked to Dwayne about
we all get to say stuff.
Yeah, right. It's right. We're not
It's just one guy that's primarily talking. The other one, you've got to feel.
I know you take him up.
Yeah, Steve has to take Monk.
Yeah, I'll take it. Yeah, there you go.
Well, we got Monk and we got Walsh. Okay, then we got Evans, the Iowa guys.
And then the rest can be you guys, because I did like 2 or 3 in a row there, I think, right? I did 33.
I know I'm going to have 3 because I got heavyweight too, so I'll close out the heavyweight.
I did 33, 57, 65.
And he's got
74 still has to go to someone.
So 74's up for grabs. Okay.
Okay, so let's go through it again. We got me at 125. Then we got Steve at
GZ.
Then we got Steve at 133.
Z, SF.
Tom at 41.
Yeah.
Tom at 49.
Okay.
Steve at 57.
Okay.
Steve at 65.
Okay.
Tom at 74. Then me, I'm at the next 2.
I'm going to do 84, so G, F, or Z, GZ, Greg Zaffros.
Okay, and then 97.
And then Greg Zaffros, and then heavyweight for the big...
280, 285.
Yeah, we'll do Tom Erickson for the big guys, okay? We should be all set on that. Yeah. Oh, it does work out well when you have a plane.
And hand signals are good. Instead of just talking, a motion like that, and somebody would say, okay, let's turn it over to Steve.
Oh, yeah.
That's
I'm used to hand signals. You ever seen me drive?
Yeah.
I get a lot of hand signals.
So if we do that, I think we'll end up with a nice smooth broadcast. It's worked really well.
It's always gone good, actually.
Yeah.
At least everybody says, it's not bad.
They say that about you, but no.
They rip on the Greek god.
It's going to be a good broadcast. I think we have it. I'm really excited about that Grajales match. In fact, I really want to watch that too.
That'll be a blast.
But again, we have to keep up with the 3rd and 4th, 5th, and 6th, and we should announce that at least once or twice during the championship match, and then the results is the final result.
Yeah. Yeah, and then we stick around for the awards even too.
We have done that because we've given the outstanding, told who the outstanding wrestler is. Unfortunately,
we usually get a vote.
Yeah, right. We'll get a vote. They'll pass the paper out.
Yeah.
That's going to give us probably a good 20 minutes to do a wrap up.
Yeah, right.
Talk about the matches.
Play some music.
Maybe talking about who we might vote for outstanding wrestler.
Yeah, right.
That type of thing. And whatever. So.
We can even talk about the national scene. Sometimes we do. Right. Talk about what do you think's on the map of the Big 8s and the 12s and the 10s. No more Big 8, I guess. Even though there's 14.
Okay, whatever.
All right, so what do we got? We got about 10 minutes.
I'm going to have to sneak in here for just a second. I'm sorry. You're Diane, right? No, I'm Greg. I'm the weird guy. It's not in here.
Well, his shoulder. Yeah, his shoulder.
He was a fan, and I think the coach could have banged his foot a little bit.
He's coming off.
Wrestlers and coaches. Wrestlers and coaches tonight. After the 157-pound match, we will have a 12-minute intermission. During that time, we will start presenting awards. We'll start presenting awards at 125, 133, 141, and hopefully 149.
I'm usually this disorganized.
157. All wrestlers in the top 8 are expected to be in their uniforms or team warm-ups. Coaches were told this at the coaches' meeting 2 nights ago. All wrestlers in the top 8 at the award stand are to be in their warm-ups or their team uniforms. We'll need you to report to the podium as quickly as you are called. We're going to try to get those first awards done during that 12-minute intermission.
That rally time point may be a form. In high school, it's not a big deal. You're not going to tell them, and they don't have that urgency. Now all of a sudden, it hits you in a match like that. You forget that they're going to be on top of
heavyweight point can be a difference because
by the way, Telford, that's probably the strongest suit. Besides being big, he's big on TV, he's big on things people. It's down, but and then he rides really well. I played really well.
Yeah, that first 30 seconds, I think, on bottom for him. He gets his first couple moves stopped, and then that freshman type of mentality of the bottom. They're not getting out. They're dropping the head.
One thing I like doing against you guys is stay level head on his feet. He didn't raise on his piece on his feet. He did that. I wrestlers like that.
He's really consistent. I like the way he wrestles.
Yeah, solid. Another thing I say is he's a freshman, but he doesn't know the magnitude of what he's doing right now. It's all new. Wait till he starts figuring it out. Start thinking about it.
sometimes they almost get it's harder for them to keep that.
Oh yeah.
I'm wishing that great year to have it's next year where it really gets crunchy because you got to back up what you just did last year.
And you're on
and you
everybody's
realize,
video screen.
You realize
people are watching. People are studying. People got time to examine you and try to figure out.
Exactly. You guys start to figure out the fighting back a little bit.
Good to see you.
Yeah. You too.
Okay.
All right.
You want a water? You sure? You okay with that or not?
I missed my bag of candy. I didn't have any candy, and now I want the candy.
And it's gone.
Okay, do we know,
Yeah.
Let's find out which volumes are for which.
Well, we're live, so we can't until we go.
Well, we
I
don't
already
have to
know.
say anything.
We got it lined up perfect. Good work.
Yeah.
I know we did. It's
that's a
me,
good question.
Tom, Greg.
Okay. And then
Scott did it. He
we
plugged it
probably
in.
should do like, if we're going to start in 4 minutes,
The internet here.
either a sound check or we should say, broadcast begins in 4 minutes. Broadcast begins in 3 minutes.
Not much.
It's up to you.
Because people are on the listen. Well, they want to know whether they've actually made a connection.
Yeah, let's do it. You want to do it? I'll do it. You say something. Yeah.
I'm just going to put yours on and see if you can hear it. This will be the test as well.
Router's like right underneath where we're sitting. So ours is probably pretty fast. It's a good signal.
Takedown Wrestling will begin in 5 minutes.
Yeah, that's good because we need it.
Where's Ironside? I haven't seen his.
Here?
I haven't seen his beautiful face-off tournament.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, that's the way to do
Usually,
it.
I mean, he comes down among the forefoot.
every now and then.
Well, we've been sitting in odd positions all day long for hours at a
Just
time.
keep getting these muscles.
I start expecting things.
Guy makes $1
Just
million
get combat pay
selling
for this.
everything.
Should bring it. We should be allowed to bring in our recliners. You know, wouldn't it be fun to do this from the Lazy Boy?
Well, good luck. You don't have to sit through the whole night.
Did you hear me? That'd be cool. Just get your Lazy Boy
Now,
in
does
here.
Dan want to get on and see?
Get a drink and a cup holder. Take down 2 points. By the heavyweights.
We're driving back tonight.
Oh, sorry, my vibrator in my seat just kicked on. It's heated leather. Yeah, it's heated leather.
It's starting to snow here.
Yeah.
I don't know. Our folks back in Iowa City said that it's snowing there.
I don't know. I've heard it was like 5 or 6 inches already in Des Moines.
Now, the forecast I had heard during one of the breaks was that Iowa City area is supposed to get like 1 inch tonight. And then it was supposed to be another system tomorrow and then another system Wednesday.
Okay.
But
They were saying less than an inch tonight here.
Casper called his wife and she said it was like 5 to 6 inches. So I don't know if that's maybe it's blowing.
and then they don't.
Let's hope it's better tomorrow. Just hope it's not weather like we always hear back in.
I remember the one year I had a bad radiator, so I threw that bottle of the rubberized guck in there, and then I threw in like a bucket of hot water, so I figured it might seal it. I loaded up with gas, never turned the car off, and just took off towards Cedar Falls. And I was driving and I went through like a toll booth, and I was like, here, if I miss it, fine, take my license, but I ain't stopping until the car will stop. I don't know it will. I got home to Cedar Falls at like 5:30 in the morning, and I went to bed. I woke up, and I was like, God, I feel like I slept for about 10 hours. It was 9 in the morning. That morning, I was like, I've only got like 3 hours of sleep, but that's the hardest 3 I've ever had in my life.
Yeah.
I thought he was going to say it's the next day.
Yeah.
I went to sleep Sunday, woke up on Tuesday. I've had some of
After
those.
that, I was like, you know what, I'm just
Takedown
going to
Wrestling
stay
will
the
begin
next
in
day.
3 minutes.
I'll drive home when it's light. I'm not gonna.
Well, the one year that was real bad. Normally it's kind of foggy or something. The one year it was like
You want
literally
me-
I was line to line. 'cause I couldn't see
You
the
want
field.
me to
That was
bring it
probably the
in?
year that
Yeah, bring it in,
Iowa
and,
State got
I'll bring
stuck
it
in
in,
the
then I'll
bus.
just go to you.
Yeah, just go to me, and let's get Tom
I'll
here. He
introduce
wanted
her
to-
names, who we are, and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Okay, and we want to get
Like
Tom
Chris
here.
Bowen.
He wants to talk
What's
about
up?
Yeah, that would have been
about
it.
what teams can move up and down. I'll tell you what. I'll give a little talk about the teams, and then I'll let Tom talk about it.
Okay, yeah.
Well, that one it was just foggy.
I'll give the team score and then talk
It
about
wasn't
them.
snowing.
Okay.
It was just fog.
Oh, geez.
But I didn't say anything to her because she was starting to freak out a little bit. But all the cars that were passing me, you could see how the fog was
Then
freezing.
we pull into the garage and I'm like, wow, it's freezing.
It's this one
Like,
here,
yeah,
right?
I don't want to
Yeah.
mention that.
Like, yeah, I noticed
No,
that
look
when I
at
got on 80.
Just talk about
Because we always
It's only been this way for 4 hours, dear.
Well, and it's one of those where I didn't want to go to sleep because I
where were you going to? From here?
Iowa City.
Oh, it's something you're talking about from here to Iowa
From
City?
here to Iowa City.
Oh,
After
yeah.
Midlands.
One of
several
Oh,
years
it can
ago.
be tricky.
Yeah.
I've been here a lot of blizzards.
Yeah.
I've walked out of this arena lots of times, big old snowflakes,
Yeah.
dry ground when you come in, and that tall already when you get out. And then you go to Iowa, between 20. What should take 5 hours takes 9
Yeah.
or 8, because you're going 30 instead of 60 or 80 or 70 or whatever. Oh yeah, it can change fast.
Oh, yeah.
We're around Des Moines, and my my son said it's snowing pretty decent in Des Moines right now. It's not terrible, but it's coming down pretty good.
Yeah.
And then my wife's out in the suburbs right now, and she
Takedown wrestling will begin
she
in
said
1
it's
minute.
snowing pretty good in St. Charles,
Mueller, D1 Fit CrossFit.
out in the
Please see
suburbs,
me at the head table.
out by Naperville.
Keegan Mueller.
Yeah, it was starting to snow here pretty good too.
And 80 doesn't have a lot of wind breaks, or 88. Do you go out on 88 or 80?
Normally we take 80 because I'm cheap. I don't want to pay the tolls.
Yeah, you pay them out of here, getting out of here. But you know what I do? I did on the way in here, but if the cop comes up next to you, you're in trouble. I haven't paid tolls since I've been coming here.
Really?
I just showed Zafra. I still don't have a roll of duct tape in my truck. You take a little piece of duct tape. The guy at the truck stop taught me this.
We're ready to go live.
Get a little piece of duct tape, cut it, and put it over a couple of your letters or numbers. They can't figure it out with their cameras, and you never get a ticket. And you just keep on going.
Speeding, oh boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding.
Oh, as soon as you're done with your tolls, you get out and toss it out, put it in the ditch, a piece of duct tape. It's worked every time. I always come here with a roll of duct tape.
He's going to get pulled over and have
They're going to
They're going to say,
$5,000.
that's the guy with the duct tape.
They're going to strip into his shorts.
All right, you're listening to the 51st Ken Kraft Midlands Championship. Welcome all of our listeners to Takedown Wrestling, and with me, I'm Steve Foster, of course, and next to me on my right is my good friend and longtime broadcast partner, Greg Zafros. How you doing, Greg?
It's fine. Great to be here.
The big guy's coming,
Okay.
the champ himself, Mr. Tom Erickson, one of my favorite all-time heavyweights to wrestle on the mat. I think, what did we used to call him? I think we called him Punisher or Pain Flexor or something. Tom Erickson's here, and he's live too. We'd like to welcome the big guy, the All-American from Oklahoma State. Won a lot of tournaments and pinned a lot of people. How you doing, Big Tom? Strangler's checking in.
Yes, always checking in with you guys.
Definitely give a shout out. I hear rumor is there's a little strangler.
Little Strangler's on the way.
We're talking with Nick Simmons.
Nick Simmons.
Michigan State.
May 3rd. Do you want to say something to Nick real quick? Let me switch this off because we want to talk to you about your team. Up in here, Nick. Put him on, buddy. Yep, Nick Simmons joining us here, one of our favorite East Lansing Strangler. And I want to thank you for checking in. And you do got a little Strangler coming, huh?
Oh yeah, May 3rd.
That's exciting.
Yeah.
Good job. You have to get another one not far after that, and
That's
then
right.
they can,
That
wrestle.
way they can beat each other up like me and Andy used to.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, like the Simmons boys used to do. So, yeah. Talk to us a little bit about the Indiana team. And, of course, you got a finalist, and he's a pinner.
Yeah, he is.
And he wrestled a really tough Prachetta in the semifinals. That Prachetta's a tough kid, a lot of power. He's a good kid. And he pinned him.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, Taylor's always been a pinner. He's always been that kind of wrestler. He's long. He's got a, different style. Just his mentality is different.
It is right now.
He's always had that strong. His mentality is different. That's all it is, His confidence is so high. It's through the roof. He's not waiting for stuff to happen anymore and try to fall into it.
I was interviewing you.
He's like, I'm putting you here and this is what's going to happen.
It's dangerous, and he can pin with a lot of different things, but the last one I think was a cradle.
Yeah, it was
That's
great.
very lucky kid.
A kid like that, you just can't scout him. Like per se, you can't say you got to watch out for this because it's with pinning. You can't everyone with everything.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
You don't want, everybody usually has a go-to move, but you like it when the arsenal is fast.
Yes.
They kind of multi-purpose their pinning match.
Obviously, St. John's a great wrestler himself, and whatever happens, I know there's been a lot of action.
Tom Coyne, St. John's. Tom Erickson talked about Derek St. John's, how he wrestles consistently all through his match, obviously. But boy, his last minute is where he's dangerous.
Yep.
He scored a lot of points at the end of the match. Tom
too.
Coyne, that before the tournament even got going. Erickson hit a home run with that one, and that's something I'm sure you're aware of.
It's Iowa too, St. John. They're going to wrestle hard the whole 7 minutes, 9 minutes that they have to. They're going to pick it up towards the end.
Yeah, for some reason, his last minute is something special. We've seen it. He just, he can keep it close if you're good. If you're really good, you keep it close in his last minute. Here he comes. But Walsh pinned his 2 guys ago at the end, too. Well, we thought he had him pinned at the beginning of it, so that's all.
He pinned him in the second period.
Yeah, right.
He told me he was like, I was going to pin him in the third, but he didn't.
Yeah, right. Benny got
his confidence is up there, so it's going to be great.
Well, we appreciate you joining us today. We're going to do a little prelim here on the tournament, but it's always good to talk to the strength. I know Scott will have you on when we get back to KXNO. You're a good interview on live radio for KXNO, for Fox Sports News, for Fox Sports Radio, and Takedown, of course. And then we go all over the world on the web.
Yeah. No, it's great. For a good fun finals at every way, hopefully.
All right, man, and have fun with that little guy. You know, I always say
right between the U.S. Open and trials.
It's a lot easier making them than paying for them. It's all good. Thanks, Coach. Okay, buddy. Nick Simmons checking in with us. We'll let Tom get the headphones on there. Greg has a good interview, and we've called his matches in the finals of Midwest more than once.
Many.
Michigan State Spartans. Greg, what do you see so far? Maybe talk about the team race or whatever direction you want to go. I know we do have influence here.
We have a lot of information for you if you're just coming into this particular session. This is, of course, the finals of the 51st annual Ken Kraft Midlands tournament. I felt blessed, actually, to be a part of many of those tournaments.
I was in Toronto in 93.
Just to set up here. We have 3 matches in front of us on the floor right now. The championship match. Off the right side, Northern Illinois Southwest match. And on the left side, we was calling giving you play-by-play on the championship match in the center, and then also keeping you up to date with the 5th grade and 5th and 6th place matches as they go along. You should be getting all the information from me about these particular matches. If you want to know what's going on, we're going to review the championship matches, but also you can pull up the bracket sheets and get the information on all the other matches by going to my website. And sorry for the long odd name on it, but it's simply my name, GregZafros.com. So that's GregZafros.com/brackets.pdf. And you get all the information there. What I want to do now is we're going to talk about the top 10 real quick. I'm going to give a couple of thoughts that I have about the overachievers and the underachievers. And Tom Harrison has his thoughts on the team races as well. So let's go through. I'll start out with number 10 is Lehigh, and they were not in the top 10. They've been moving up now and getting stuff up at the 55. Okay. Next we have number 9, we've got Indiana, and I'm sure that Tom Erickson was proud of that. And number 8, we have Northwestern. Number 7, we have Maryland. Number 5, Wisconsin, Northern Iowa. Number 4, we have Michigan. Number 3, with 82 points, is Illinois. Number 2, with 92 points, is Edinburgh. And in first place, with 172.5 points, Iowa. Almost double the score.
They're getting ready to set the record here with the point count. Sounds like it's very likely that we eclipse the Midlands record for 14 minutes. Tom, I see you got some stuff circled in there that you'd probably like to talk about. Let's let the champ talk to us about some of the stuff that sticks out for him as far as the team is concerned.
Yeah, one of the things we're talking about too, you look at how tightly they're packed.
After Iowa.
Yeah, after Iowa, it's a given. Iowa's going to win with this. They're chasing record now. They're not chasing anybody else. But when you look at the bottom half, the break started at the bottom and worked your way up. But if you drop down even 2 places below that, you got North Dakota State, the team out here from West Virginia in 12th place, and Columbia coming out there at 11, and starting at 10, Lehigh, Indiana, etc. It was great. But the thing about those neat things is the team starting at the number 12 spot can move forward. Certain things were to happen and they win and decisions and stuff like that. You look at the numbers of the championship bracket. The place matches are worth a point. The championship bracket's worth 2 bonus points, fall-ins, falls, 10 falls, etc. So all those teams can jump around. You get a team like Lehigh, they can jump from 10th and possibly with the numbers of the athletes, they can jump all the way up to an 8th place.
Yeah.
So I look at that from a former coach's perspective. You look at those things and you say, look, I'm in a high place in the business. And I go back to my administrators, and I took a 7th in the Midlands. Well, they're going to be proud as punch that you took 12th. But you get there in a 7th, there's a difference. Yeah. There's a difference. And, the numbers are set in terms of how many place winners you have, et cetera. Big ones in the finals, I had 2 champs, et cetera. But you want to improve that number. And they've got a big opportunity for some of these teams to jump over each other. Or, matter of fact, we'll probably see a couple of these teams, Lehigh, Indiana, they're really tight. Early in the match, early in the round, somebody's going to win at 34 or 33, and then Indiana comes back at 57 and re-jumps it. So we'll try to keep track of that for everybody, kind of let you know about it. And one other thing I wanted to point out, looking at this, you're looking through the brackets and stuff, biased towards heavyweights, but you look down there at number 24 on the bracket sheet, and it's called BB Train. That kind of jumps out to us, a team called BB Train. Well, that's a young man who's trained with one of the Beebe brothers. His name is Stephen Dwyer. Stephen Dwyer had the misfortune of wrestling Bobby Telford in the first round and has come all the way back to wrestle in the 3rd place match. So, that's something that, when you get to the weight class, I'll definitely keep an eye on and look at it. But just to tell you how tough it is, coming through the whole losers, the consolation bracket, it's a pretty tough road to haul in. And just one individual is in 24th place. We've got, 40-plus teams here, 50 teams, and you got one individual placing 24th. Pretty impressive.
That is impressive. And up there, to say Sarah Mitchell back in Iowa, Grandview, an NAIA school here, is in top 20 right now. They have 19 athletes here, 20th for the Vikings. So we're glad some NAIA schools come here and wrestle as well as Maryland.
Dig in, brother.
Is that what those are?
Wisconsin Vikings.
Beer and butter, Scott.
Whole list of them. You can find them online on the internet. We not only keep track of the top 10, but that's the ones we really focus in on. Like Tom Erickson said, there can still be a lot of shots. There's a 10-point, 10.5-point lead there here in Burlington, Illinois, for second
Try to put
place.
somebody's kid through college.
Like your backyard too, being on the champion. So they're going to want to defend their backyard here. So, Greg, what else do you see?
Well, I was looking through this here. I have a little different take on it in the way I'm looking at it. I've got kind of like it's not a award or stuff, it's just a kind of overachiever and kind of underachiever team. And one of the things, this is not meaning good or bad, whatever. It's in fact, one of the things about the tournament this year is really kind of unfortunate. There have been a lot of injuries, a lot of illnesses going on.
I just had my work done.
Several teams.
I was like, I got to know if I can still
way
do this.
understaffed, underhanded. I'm just saying more than I've seen in a long time.
Went into the bathroom in my hotel the night before everything. Put a dip in.
Whatever. So there are 2 teams that, now they are teams I have connections with, but they're
I flushed it all down to the can. Next day,
I think as far as my overachiever, I'm going to have to give it to Northwestern, and I'll tell you why. They're in 8th place right now. It's not necessarily that high, but it's not that low.
I quit.
And the reason I picked them out is that really 2 of their
I did, but I flushed it down the bathroom yesterday.
Their heavyweight Mike McCullen, who would have been the number 1 seed, no question, he is not there. A former Midlands champion, Lee Munster, also is out of the lineup. And in addition to that, their number 1 seed, Alex Hertz, is trying to come back from illness. We found out just recently and he was not up to par. He was not able to make it into the finals. And I think given all those negatives for them, they still managed to pull it out. Pat Greco doing a great job, and a couple of the lesser known wrestlers, I won't say lesser known, they can come back.
Also, there were like 7.5 in Vegas.
Love math, I love things like that. That's easily 20. That's being very conservative. You throw 20 points on there, sitting there in 8th place, throw 20 points on, that's 78 points. That puts them in 3rd, chasing 4th, chasing down 3rd place.
And Tom is our numbers man, as you can tell. And that's what I thought about Northwestern. Now, other teams have had a problem, too. I know Illinois has really been clobbered this last week.
Yeah.
But let's go the other way. And
they got another one, too.
Right, who was injured in the semifinal. At the other end of the spectrum, it's not a negative. It's people who are having problems for one reason or another, out of control. And that is kind of the, I hate to use the word underachiever, but I have to give that to another one of my favorite teams, unfortunately, which is Virginia Tech. And I say that because Virginia Tech came in 2nd last year, just 1 point behind Illinois. I mean, just one team point from winning this thing last year.
Devin Carter had the red shirt.
Right, they would have had it. This year they're tied for 22nd at this point, and they've had illnesses, they've had problems, they've had red shirts. Two of their best wrestlers, especially Joey Dance, who I wanted to see at the lower weights, so that was not able to make it. They've had some red shirts.
Effortley is wrestling unattached.
Wrestling unattached, whatever. There's a number of factors on that one too. So they dropped from 2nd to 22nd. But the point is that 2 weeks from now they could be right back in the hunt. If they get these guys back. So I want to pull those two out. In that case, like I say, I have a connection with both teams, but my decisions or my thoughts on that are not those things. So I just want to bring that perspective.
And in the national part, the unfortunate thing for them is Devin Carter was lost early. I think his hamstring.
Right. Right.
Good kid.
To add on, a team that traditionally does a solid job here in the Midlands, Ken Kraft.
Right.
They usually have one guy in the finals or a little guy, California kid, top 3 or 4 in his first 4 or 5 weight classes, and maybe heavyweight or something, or a big guy. They usually have a guy on the podium. They're a spot or 2 right down from Virginia Tech at 15 with only 1 place winner, 7th place finisher. So.
And they'll be coming back in a couple of weeks too, possibly. I mean, it's just unfortunate with what's going on. And like I say, there's been I don't know if there's flu going around here, but we've heard about several wrestlers on the University of Illinois team as well and stuff like that. We're just down from the county. So let me take a minute before we go further, though, just to make sure that our audience knows what's going to happen here. The tournament, I'll put the word tournament in quotes, is supposed to start at 8 o'clock, but the wrestling will not start for probably, they have a time set on it.
There's some pageantry.
Yeah, 20 minutes later, but there's a lot of pageantry that goes from this. They have the parades of former champions, they have the parades of the people from the finals, they have the awards that they give in the middle, and we'll be keeping you up to date on what's going on with that, but although the session is supposed to start at 8 o'clock, the wrestling will be a while later.
Good, so good. What can I do for you?
This has gone, let's see, Scott Casper's almost.
Sorry?
What do you got now?
Okay, we're just doing a sound check here, folks.
Yes, we're on right now.
Okay, so be prepared that, it's going to be a while, and we have started.
All right, now you be safe. All right, thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, you'll see that our mats are numbered according
I'm looking forward to it. We've got some great matches, some great lineups. We can start digging into them if you want, and we can talk. And I don't know if since we do media, sometimes we'll pick them as we go. We'll talk about the pluses and minuses. We might as well, Greg, talk about your Mr. Garnett at 125.
Right. I'll tell you what we're going to do. Why don't each person match that one is?
Yeah.
Gus will give his presentation of what they think about the match that has been trying to. We're going to be doing play-by-play on each of the matches. I'll be doing the primary play-by-play at 125. It should be extremely interesting. Thomas Gilman of Iowa, the number 4 seed, made it into the finals, and he's kind of a new name and a new wrestler for me. It's pretty exciting to see an Iowa wrestler, young Iowa wrestler.
Freshman.
He's done a great job for the University of Iowa, so this is a chance, a good chance to see him. He's going against Jeff Presley, very accomplished veteran, Gerard Garnett. Gerard Garnett,
Test 1, 2, 3, 4.
postgraduate wrestler
Mic check 1, 2, 3, 4.
And he wrestled previously at Virginia Tech. He won this tournament last year in just outstanding fashion, and he's a fantastic wrestler. He is back here again, like I say, wrestling unattached as a postgraduate. And it's going to be interesting again, it's sort of like the young and the old, although Gerard Garnett is not really that old. So I'm going to be real excited to see how that turns out. I'll be calling that one, and
I do got a question for you, being from out around the Virginia area. Garnett wrestles for the Bison Wrestling Club. Is there a lot of Buffalo out there?
Well, actually, we do have some along the Shenandoah Valley, but I have no idea where the Bison Wrestling Club is now. I believe everything on Delaware, and I don't know if there's any there either. He's actually warming up right in front of us. Typical of him, he's wearing his headphones and playing music, and and he'll do that right up until he steps on the ring.
One of my favorites, Doug Schwab, was so good and intense and a great wrestler, and he always wore headphone or head music he was listening to. I asked him, so what do you listen to? I was thinking, he listens to Van Morrison.
I like Van Morrison.
I think it's great stuff, but it doesn't seem like stuff you listen to before you go out and do hand-to-hand combat.
Okay, hey, just hold on. I want to follow up with that. You know, in 25, besides that final match, Iowa missed it right out there. I think missed that right out there. If you notice in that match, you've got...
Folks, don't miss the Northwestern Wrestling League. They welcome some of the top teams in the country to Evanston. The Wildcats will take on Indiana, Minnesota, Wisconsin, Iowa, and Stanford. Coming much right here at Wells Ryan Arena. The Wildcat Wrestling team will welcome Indiana to Wells Ryan on January 4th at 3:30 p.m. As we broadcast on the Big Ten Network, and is a purple out. The first 200 fans to the gates will receive a free Northwestern Wrestling t-shirt.
The
wrestling team will host Minnesota on January 10th at 7 p.m. on Fan Appreciation Night. The first 500 fans will receive a free color change of Northwestern Wrestling mug and a free order of Coke.
I just want to throw that in there.
Yeah. Wildcat Wrestling Team will be hosting spring training for 8th graders and under their wrestling.
Well, you know it's going to be fun.
Wisconsin.
Like maybe I want you guys to say
Sunday, January 26th. Clinic is free with a ticket, but registration is required.
Very good.
And the Wildcats will welcome Iowa to Evanston on January 31st. Tickets available by calling 888-GO-PURPLE or by visiting sports.com.
Well, not Wells Fargo, but that was at the barn there, the Veterans Auditorium in Cologne, in the barn. He was called in the barn down there.
Would Jeff Rockhold come to the table, please? Jeff Rockhold,
congratulations to him. And no national anthem yet, but and he beat A.J. Schaap, which was amazing because Schaap was the only young man that beat Tony Ramos from Iowa. And Ramos beat a real tough Alan Waters, who jumped up to 133 and over 25-pounder for the Missouri Tigers. He's up here wrestling and attached. And Ramos came out of that 5-0. I would have expected a 5.
All wrestlers, all coaches, please clear the mats.
Alan Waters.
We should mention that.
Ramos in the finals.
Yeah, we should mention that A.J. Schaap is not only the number one seed in this tournament, but the number one ranked wrestler in the United States. So
he goes down to Cologne from Northern Iowa. Well, I can see that too. They bring him back up to the number one spot there's for him. So there's a lot on the line for him, and same with Cologne. There's a lot on the line. One of his big matches earlier back too a little bit was he beat Tyler Graff, and that's when I knew the joke along that I've seen in the past show. He's beat Graff, beat the number one seed. Now can he beat one of them? We'll be here to tell you.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we direct your attention to the center mat for a very special presentation.
Yeah, it's coming. The national anthem's coming.
There are so many awards being given out, and people are standing up for that.
Of the 2013 Midlands Wrestling Championships.
Yeah, we have that again.
Kind of honoring officials and different things like that. But
the referees.
We'll take a piece here at 141. We're going to have Mitchell Portman, number one seed in the Midlands.
And Doctors Ridley and Kelsey of Rick Bell. And this is what the inscription says. Our beloved friend and colleague on and off the mat at the Midlands Wrestling Championships. Rick was always ready to make the right calls when officiating, always ready to encourage us when tough calls were made, and always ready with the joke to make us laugh. He worked diligently while balancing officiating and working behind the scenes of this renowned tournament. From the officials and staff of the Midlands, blessed to be involved with Rick throughout the years, he will be dearly missed. Ladies and gentlemen, Kim Bell and daughters Ridley and Kelsey.
Right, just a little twitch on the right-hand side there, you might say. He was trying desperately to hold it back, but I think I can.
Yeah, and honestly, his toughest match was his semifinal against Jawa.
Java.
So, looking for that to be an interesting match. I think Portland was so dominant that, but you know what? An unseeded guy in the finals, I've seen it before. Right?
Yeah, and so really, because he's done so good, and never paid attention to what's on paper, kind of like Kuhn from Michigan's done, the big guy.
Right.
Who knows what his limit is?
Right.
You know, we don't know what his limit is.
Okay, let's move on to 149. Tom, why don't you fill us in on that one? And I'm going to really want to see this one.
Yeah. 41, you know, manner speaking, this was a two-man weight class. I mean, let's be honest. When we all of us sat down over at the table looking at this bracket, we're looking at Jason Surtis versus Darren Caldwell in the finals. Is that going to be fireworks? Sure.
Ladies and gentlemen,
I would have bet. I'm not a betting man, but I would have bet on that.
Then the tournament gets started, and all of a sudden, Jason Surtis doesn't wrestle like Jason Surtis, does a 5-3 win. Caldwell wrestles like Caldwell with a quad. Second match, Surtis looks even worse with a 2-1 decision. You know, by the way, Darren Caldwell, he gets pinned.
Yeah.
You know, so
2 minutes and 15
he
seconds.
takes the bracket and blows the bracket up, and you know, Surtis is still kind of chugging along 4-0, 2-0.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome once again to Northwestern University and the 51st Annual Ken Kraft Midlands Wrestling Championships. Ladies and gentlemen, before we start our final medal matches this evening, would you please stand, remove hats, caps, and headgear
on the backside
as we prepare to pay tribute to our country and to those who serve and protect it. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem.
You know, that's when we talked about a little surprise. Caldwell was a gimme through the bottom half of the bracket. And he doesn't get there. He gets decked in that second round right before the quarters, and then all of a sudden it opens up the bracket. And then you have the young man from George Mason that looked really big. And, you know, I got to keep mentioning this to Coach Russell. It's Rulo from George Mason gets into the semifinals against Mitchell Minotti. And Minotti comes out in a hard-fought 2-0 match. So you're looking at Eric Grajales, who's looked like he's turned the corner in the finals versus Mitchell Minotti. So you got to like Grajales in a continuing growing stages, man. Let's keep improving. You know, if I'm Joe McFarland, I got to be pretty excited because this is what I've been waiting for from this young man. He's wrestled well for him. Don't get me wrong. Like I think, you know, it's a dud. He's wrestled well, but not the promise that we got when we got him.
Yeah, he's got to meet his potential. I think we all, in a complimentary way, we're talking about Grajales because we know what his potential is. His potential is the sky's the limit. This kid's dangerous. That's something else I've noticed about Grajales too, is he can score a lot of points and he can get you on your back row too, because he's got some great moves that take you to your back row. And that's what it's all about. His opponent is Mitchell Minotti from Lehigh for the Mountain Hawks. And let's see here, Mitchell, he's had a 2-0, 7-0, 11-3, so he got a major 8-1 and 6-2. He never had a bye to begin with.
He's yeoman work. I'd call that yeoman work. He's just done the job.
Exactly.
obviously in the semi, a nice tight match, but basically he's just taking care of. He's the number 6 seed. He took care of everything. Now the biggest win that he actually had, not biggest win, but the biggest point spread was Habit.
Yeah.
Right there, the number 3 seed. He beats him, 7-0, and then he does a little yeoman's work against Rulo. So,
4.5 to 5 minutes away. 4.5
a fun
to 5
match.
minutes away.
He's a grinder, and you're going to have Grajales, who's
dangerous,
very good. The last couple rounds.
Two different styles. Somebody's willing to win a match by a few points, and somebody likes to pin people for the win. And back real quick for Menominee. He's from Lehigh, and you ready? They're just 1 point behind Indiana in 10th place, and then they're just 3 points behind Northwestern, who's in 8th place with 58 and a half points. So, yeah, it's going to be fun. 49 is going to be fun. We're all going to win.
As we come into the championship round, top 10 team scores in 10th place with 57.
57, of course, you have the international champ, Eric St. John for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Comes in the number 1 seed, ranked number 1 in the nation. Has pretty good matches all the way through, you think, and then he runs into Jordan. He's the son of Jim Jordan. Long enough for us to watch him win his titles. This is his direct son, Isaac. And
as far as team scores go for the championship round,
you could tell this guy's been on the map.
4 points plus bonus.
That was one of the most
and won in the Sun victory there. And won 5 to 3 to St. John. He's in the finals, and he's got Mr. Benner pinned. Actually, he's pinned. He's had a fall Taylor Walsh from Indiana. He's had a fall of 3 minutes and 21 seconds.
He's got 15
seconds.
I think I talked to
15 in a row.
He's got 15 consecutive falls. Give or take
fantastic.
When he's on 16 consecutive.
And Mike's by the mouth.
3 minutes and 41 seconds.
And everything to about 8 o'clock on the
2
dial.
pins ago, and then 1 minute and 58 seconds of pin.
Volume to about 8 on the dial.
Watching all the time, and Brachetta
Mike's to the mouth.
too. So Brachetta got caught with the cradle. And can Walsh pin St. John's? I don't know. But can he? He's not going to go out after St. John's. It's just a win. He's not content. Seems like place he can pin. St. John's is long and lean and hard to pin.
Yeah, no. Being at Purdue, I've got a chance to see Walsh. Walsh is just tough too. Let's not make a mistake. It's either pin or I lose. Walsh is a tough kid. He's been in the round of 12 at the national tournament. He's having a phenomenal year this year. Outrolled the year this year, but he's a tough kid too. Let's not forget that he can wrestle
Similar
as well.
build. Walsh is kind of lean, isn't he tall? He's got some leverage to him. And we know St. John's. St. John's is real tall.
The one thing about Walsh is you have to respect him in all positions.
All winners, my medical are asked to report to the mats to have their hand raised.
Looked like he was getting ready to
Our
score
medalist
points. Before you know it, he's got
in the 2013 Midlands Wrestling Championships. Please report to the mats.
165. I'll continue to talk here
to accept our congratulations. Thank you.
Is the number 1 seed from North Dakota State. Bison, my quick little note I always say about him, I interviewed him once, he said wrestling starts when practice starts, like putting your headgear on and your shoes, and when it's done, I throw everything in the closet. Don't do anything in the summer. We don't recommend that necessarily. Summer camps and tournaments are good. Monk's been successful with that theology. So far it's worked good for him, but it's not for everybody. But it is an interesting side note. He's had a pin in 237, another one in 254, then a 1-0 match and a 7-2 match. So he's up against none other than another Iowa Hawkeye, Nick Moore, the number 2 seed. So you get the number 1, number 2 seed. The Hawkeye has won 13-4 by major, another major. Nick Moore, 14-4. Then another against against Harger, he won 7-4. And then Tyler Massa.
We believe we have about 90 seconds remaining.
Yes, Massa was leading that whole match.
Unattached for Michigan.
And a little side note about Monk. That 7-2 score was a little deceiving. That was all at the end. He hit that cradle at the end.
2-2, wasn't it?
Put him to a takedown and cradle at the end. So that's a 3-2 match, tight. And 2 takedown and a 2 near fall takes it to a 7-2 match. You're thinking it's a comfortable match. But
yeah,
that was a little tight.
It was. And he's like St. John. Sometimes he'll wrestle good and then he'll pin you right at the end. So he's dangerous that way.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Iowa State
All-American wrestler Michael Marina. Fifth place at 125 pounds. Oil of Michigan is a medical. Fourth place, Corey
You look at
Clark
74,
of
you got the number 1 seed, Mike Evans, really hasn't
Wrestling for third place on that number 3, the number 1 seed, Jesse Delgado of Illinois, and number 5 seed, Dylan Peters of Northern
basically
Iowa.
taking care of business. Zach Epperly, in the semis was supposed to be
Ladies
a
and
good match,
gentlemen,
really wasn't.
wrestling for the championship
control
at
tempo and everything
125 pounds.
else.
In the green corner, representing the Bison Wrestling Club, Gerard
Here's where the fun
Garnett.
starts on the bottom.
His opponent, the number 4 seed in the red from Iowa, Thomas Gilman.
Okay, I have to interrupt now because we're actually getting ready there. Because of the television problems and that they're going on here, we're going right.
So they're going to do the Grand March?
Right. They're not going to do the Grand March. Well, no, they're going to do it at halftime. And we're going to start. We have the wrestlers out on the mat. Out on the championship mat, as we mentioned before. We've got Gilman.
At halftime, we'll go from 84 up.
Right.
We'll do that.
Yeah. Okay, so we've got Gilman for Iowa. We're at 125 pounds for Garnett. The wrestlers are on the mat for the 3rd and 4th place match. Tom is going to be covering the 3rd and 4th place match, and Steve is going to be covering the 5th and 6th place matches, and we'll bring you all that information on that. Right now, over in the 3rd place match, we've got Delgado, the number 1 seed from the University of Illinois. Then he's got Peters from Franklin and Marshall. And in the 5th place match, we've got Corey Clark of Iowa going against Boyle. Boyle is from where? Somebody check that out.
Boyle, Michigan.
Michigan, okay. So we should be starting a minute. The wrestlers are out there. In fact, Gilman is on the mat. And
I'm not sure Boyle's going to get a... Corey Clark will be coming up.
Yeah. Okay, and we know that they're about ready to go because Gerard Garnett has taken the headphones off of his head and replaced them with his headgear. And he usually doesn't do that until as soon as they're ready to go. All the wrestlers are on the mat and we're just waiting. And I think we're waiting for communication speeds.
Yeah,
so, again, you're
television time.
Right, and again, you're listening to Takedown, and this is Greg Zaffros along with Steve Foster and Tom Erickson, and we are having
Referees, let's start the competition.
Okay, the wrestlers are moving to the mat. We're getting ready to go. I've got Gerard Garnett on my right and Gilman on the left.
And the winner over here, already Michigan's picked up the win.
That's on the 5th place. 5th and
5th place already over Corey Clark. Corey Clark didn't come out to wrestle. No.
Mason Beckman of Lehigh, Waters, and attached Missouri.
Okay, they're circling in the center mat there, and we're trying to get some underhooks here by Tom Gilman. And that might not be the best thing to do against Gerard Garnett. Gerard Garnett can do a lot of throws.
Representing the Bison Legend Wrestling Club. He's an assistant coach at Bucknell University. And now a 4-time Midlands place winner. He's the returning champion.
A little bit of a sweep single to the right side, but kind of a half shot and a nice counter. Now he's got a shot cross by
Thomas Gilman.
And he's got it pretty tight. The whizzer's thrown in by Garnett right now, and he's blocking it, but it was a nice deep shot by Gilman. And he got way in, and he still has it. He's lifting the leg up now, and he's trying to do the trip. He's trying to do the trip. They go to the edge of the mat, and he gets 2 points for a lead by Thomas Gilman of Iowa over Gerard Garnett. But as we know from last year especially, you never count Gerard Garnett out.
Even another semi this afternoon, he trailed a little bit to Clark, came out and took it to overtime and won it.
Right, and the thing that does that is that he gets better as the match goes along.
Yeah, he does. He finishes strong, Garnett does. He's
Referee
got a
Tim
real
Shields
finish.
is co-owner of the Greater Midwest.
That's the way it is.
Fundraiser
2-1
is from Apple Valley, Minnesota.
Jesse Delgado
Assistant
leads
Joe Tauber.
47 to go in the first period, so he's a leading returning national champ. And down here for mine, I'll go right back to you, Greg, we're actually at 133 pounds. They've jumped up a little bit. Greg?
Okay, we're back at the center mat there, and we had that takedown by Gilman, so he was breaking Gerard down to the ground really tight. Garnett got himself up, but Gilman just lifted right off the ground, slammed him back down. Garnett is back up again. He's trying to get out, but I'll tell you, beautiful riding there by Gilman. He is just holding him, not letting Garnett get anything loose to get out. Go back, back to the center. Right. Yeah. Right. You know, he can get up, he can wiggle a little bit and make that turn. Sometimes he turns too soon, but this time he can't even make the turn. Go back to the strong, and again, we had an attempt at a stand up by Garnett, but at this point, yeah, Gilman is actually lifting Garnett's legs off the ground. He's going to have to move up on that.
Time approaching 1 minute for Gilman and a fresh start.
Okay. He could have moved up any time. He
Right.
gave the bed for the down.
Okay, we had a stalemate call out there that broke it, and the referee's making the call, not us, so we have to go along with it.
Sometimes it's a stall call. You hang out on those ankles. More times than not, it is.
Okay, we're going to have a caution on the red wrestler, and the red wrestler is Gilman for jumping the gun on from the referee's position.
Down there on mat number 3, you got Delgado exchanging takedowns and reversals. That's a tight match, 5-3. So.
And it's still in the first period.
Exactly. We still got 30 seconds in the first period, 5-3.
Okay, back to the center we go. Referee's position. Remember, Gerard Garnett is down. He's down on the mat, and he's down in the score, 2-0. Okay, there's the whistle blowing. They're moving off to the side there, and Gilman is hooking under. Well, he's got one arm around the body and trying to put that half Nelson. They're going there, probably going to go off. Should be called pretty soon. Okay, there it is. Out of bounds again. They go back to the center.
We get 5-3, so Delgado got down there, the national champion. He's against Dylan Peters from UNI, the Northern Iowa Panthers.
Okay, they go again on the center mat. Garnett is up, and a nice slam down, or not a slam, but a throw down by Gilman. One of the things is I don't know if we're going to see any riding time on the scoreboards that they're using here. Is anybody
the way they got the finals, the score in the game clock, mat clock is on the sides and the wings. The riding time, which is going to be typical for the wrestlers and coaches, is right above us on the center clock, which is directly above the mat. So the wrestlers will never have an opportunity to take a peek at their riding time, which at this point is 1:53.
Into the first period, Gilman will take a 2-0 lead. 53 seconds.
As they end the first period, score 2-0 for Thomas Gilman of Iowa.
Right.
A little bit of a surprise. And I say that, a little bit of a surprise. As I mentioned earlier, Garnett tends to get better and better as he goes along. He's oftentimes behind, but then he catches up and he wins matches and goes into overtime. We've seen plenty of that those last years.
Take you down, we'll put you in your back.
Right. And Garnett chooses the down position for the second period, but he was down and he wasn't able to get out, so I don't know if that was a good call or not, but that's what he did call. Okay, Garnett is moving forward, trying to get out, moving forward, kicking out. A nice follow-up by Gilman. I am really impressed. I think this is the first time I've concentrated on one of his matches, and I have to say I'm extremely impressed.
Yeah, they did it.
Gilman's tough. Over here, 5th place for 133, so this is going to keep it challenging. We're going to be ahead of a weight class down here. 5th and 6th.
Third place match.
8 is on
Delgado was out really early in the second period.
The second period on the 23 and 3rd place match. Jesse Delgado will be 6th there.
Beckman starting
in the second period.
Second period on 53 seconds to go from Lehigh wrestling. Alan Waters wrestling on the tats from Missouri in the 133-pound weight class.
Okay, we're starting in again in the second period, a minute 45 to go. Still 2-0. We go out of bounds and we're getting a stalling call. And that stalling call was going to go against Gilman. And that for pushing Garnett out.
I'll be honest with you, Greg. I thought that was a more legit ride than he just hung on to the ankle.
Yeah, usually when you stick out on those feet or ankles, that's when you normally
Okay, we had the optional start, so we have the escape by Garnett. And now he's starting to move a lot faster than he ever did in the beginning. Of course, he's been down on the mat, but now he's thinking about ankle. So with that escape, it now makes it 2-1. There was a minute and 27 seconds of riding time for Gilman, so he's an ankle kick by Gilman, and he's in there pretty tight. There's plenty of time left. There's no score yet. There's
2 more for Gilman. He's now 4-1.
He's looking for more. He's split.
Oh man, yeah. He's got the leg split, and he was coming up the body, so you thought maybe he was going to get right up there and grab some backwards that you thought.
Tell you what, yes, and I'll tell you the thing that's really crazy. Garnett better watch out because riding time's almost getting out of reach where it's going to be a lot. It's well over 2. He's got 2.5 minutes riding time at this point. So if he doesn't get out and start doing something, that's a free point that Gilman's going to have on the clock. He won't notice.
Getting point at a spot at a point from the beginning, you know.
Okay, at this point, I don't see Garnett doing anything at this point. It's sort of like he doesn't have a plan, and I think he's wrestling somebody who he's never wrestled before, I'm sure, and doesn't quite understand him yet, hasn't sized him up. I think that's the best way to explain it. Garnett is an outstanding wrestler, but he has not been able to do anything yet in this match. Again,
Tom Erickson mentioned it earlier in the tournament. Garnett's a great wrestler, but who's he wrestling for himself?
Right.
He's not picking up any team points like Gilman is. He's got some team points probably that he's interested in here, Tom and Greg, for the Iowa Hawkeyes.
Right. Okay, we back to the center and they had referee's position, and again, Gerard Garnett stands up, and again, Gilman just rides him right out of bounds.
Got to be careful right here for Gilman, because referees already showed, look, I'm going to ding you, and Garnett, to his credit, has keep coming to his feet, but cannot get away from Gilman's grip.
Okay, they're back in the center again. There they go. Okay, we have another caution. This time the caution was on Garnett. We had a caution earlier on Gilman, so they each have one at this point. I thought there was a second one given to, a second caution given to Gilman, but I can't verify that. Okay, they go again, and again the stand up by Garnett, and he does a somersault over. It's not really
a quick lock hand.
Okay. It wasn't a Granby roll, really. It was just a straightforward somersault. It didn't work, and Gilman is still on top. He's got the
In the second period, Gilman goes in with a 4-1 lead and choice, and he's going to start down.
Just like I said to him during that match, riding times are locked. He's got 2:28 riding time, so there's a point at the clock where you don't
2 minutes
guaranteed. It's 5-1 right now in reality, and there's nothing that he could do here to get that point off the
He's
clock.
either got to turn him, doesn't he, Coach, or cut him?
Yeah.
Turn him or cut him, because you're not going to get rid of the riding time.
Okay, here we go. A nice stand up by Gilman, and he turns around, and Garnett goes behind him with a lift. We got a 1-point escape.
One more, Constance is leading out 5-1.
Dictating the match.
As I said, it looks like Garnett doesn't have a plan on this. He just doesn't quite know what to do. And there he gets an ankle pick, but a nice step back by Gilman. I mean, he is not doing anything wrong. This is really interesting. And there's going to have to be a throw by Garnett if he wants to do it.
6-5 decision there.
He's getting it. Oh, there's a fireman's carry that he doesn't get. Garnett put it in there, and it looks like Gilman might even come out on top of this one. And as the seconds click off, it would be better at this point maybe for Garnett to just back out and start over again.
It's just been a textbook.
I think he's got his arm caught behind his back. Gilman caught his arm on that. He hung it up behind his back.
Right, the referee stops it. They go back. They're in the standing.
133-pound third place match. AJ Shotwood,
Delgado was victorious down there
Wisconsin.
for the Fighting Illini, so he'll take third for Illinois. Jesse Delgado, the number 1 seed.
Okay, again, Garnett is starting to move a little bit faster, but I don't think he knows exactly what he can do that's going to work on this one, and I can see it because Gilman is just not making any mistakes. Okay, and there was a bit of a shot by Gilman, and they go out of bounds all the way on the ridge floor. Taking back 43 seconds to go.
You know, in that situation, I expect nothing less than Gilman to wrestle for Iowa to keep putting the pressure on.
Not to back up at all. Just stay right there, hold your ground.
He's not going to shut it down. He's going to keep coming at you.
These weren't like so many matches turned. We learned you got to wrestle right to the last few seconds. Somebody will catch you and throw you.
Okay, they have 24 seconds to go in this third period, and Gilman is just sort of mopping up on this one. And there's a try at a fireman's carry. Okay, try at the fireman's carry. I thought there was a whistle out of bounds.
Riding time on map number 5 means we have a tie going to overtime.
There's another caution. This is the caution.
Caution on Garnett is second. 10 seconds to go.
Now he's trying to get in. 8 seconds to go, but he's got that throw and he took it. Oh, he's trying the takedown. Just missed a headlock throw.
Point for riding time. It'll be a 6-1 decision and a Midlands championship for the number 4 seed from Iowa, Thomas Gilman.
Astounding defeat. Wonderful wrestling match by the Iowa wrestlers.
Real tough decision for the Hawkeyes there at times. Gilman or Clark.
Yeah, who's going to wrestle? Isn't that terrible? That's like when they had Joey Slayton. The guy ends up second in the nation. He doesn't make the starting lineup next year. I used to have that problem too, when I was Okay, we're going to...
Looking down in the third place match, we've got, you know, Shop from Edinburgh, the number 1 seed versus Tyler Kraft from Wisconsin.
2 outstanding wrestlers.
And you know what? Side note, who does the budget for their singles? This is the 4th different singlet that Edinburgh has.
Yeah. Missouri does that too sometimes too. They got more than one. Speaking of Missouri, unattached down here, Alan Waters and Beckman for 133. So at least now with some blood time and overtime here, sudden victory between Beckman and Waters. We're kind of all getting to the same weight.
Ladies and gentlemen, wrestling for the championship at 133 pounds, wearing the green ankle band for Northern Iowa, Joe Cologne.
And in the red is opponent, the number 2 seed from Iowa, Tony Ramos.
How good Tony Ramos is. And Joe Cologne, he's a tough kid. He likes his underhook. You see that?
Waters still tied on mat 5.
And double underhook him, tried to jack him
No
up,
score,
down on
almost
his
at
back.
the end of the first period
So
on mat 3.
Cologne really in the first scoring position there against Ramos. A little side note here. Cologne beats the only wrestler that he defeated in the semifinals beginning. AJ Shaw from Edmond.
While Joe Cologne came in 12-1, 6th in the country.
To go in the first period, Cologne's really been kind of the only one to be in the first scoring position anyway.
Cologne was the 4 seed.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there. Alan Waters got his knee caught underneath it.
And strikes first for the takedown, Joe Cologne.
Nice throw by him. He's got the claw. He's riding with the tight-faced claw here, so he strikes first. Joe Cologne takes down Tony Ramos and now leads 2-1.
Tyler Kraft, Eric
Speed,
Nick Smith.
Tom, what'd you see up here? Big injury.
You know, big scramble. Beckman came in, pressure, hit a shot. Waters' foot got caught in a really bad spot. Ankle knee got twisted underneath him. And didn't look very good. So he's down right now. This is in the overtime, so in the time. So we'll see what happens here. Here we go. We'll give you right back to Tony here.
Cologne starts on top, Ramos on the bottom. Tight waist with a claw. He likes that claw ride there. Tight waist, Ramos in the referee's position. Up to his feet, nice inside stand up there by Ramos. Cologne doing a good job covering here. And an escape by Ramos, and then we got 2
One escape for Ramos, cuts the lead.
37 seconds
first period, 2-1 lead for Cologne. Body time, 37 seconds.
Cedar Falls is where the campus is for Cologne, and Iowa City, of course, is where the Iowa Hawkeyes are, and they're in the team race. I don't know, this isn't going to determine whether they win it or not, Ramos, obviously, but maybe whether they meet the team score.
Over in the third place match, we got AJ Shaw and Tyler Kraft. The score is tied 0-0 halfway through the second period.
And underhook here by Cologne. Ramos.
Cologne is not afraid of Tony Ramos. It's not that you would be, but you know he's going to.
He likes to intimidate. Ramos has that demeanor. He likes to intimidate you and come after you, and more times than not, it works because he's an expert.
Carroll Street, Illinois resident Glenbard North.
What's going on here is Cologne just kind of dictating, as you said.
Just flicked it over.
He's taking it to him. I bet you it's a little unique for Tony to be in a position like this.
Rose Ramos through his back.
Get the count. It's at least a 2 count for sure. He's throwing the double flex in. He's going to put it.
After you die. You don't let him come to you, you go to him. And you dictate the match. That was a huge win for Northern Iowa.
You know what? Stuck with the double underhooks. Tony took a bad shot. He just whipped him over with double underhooks. Put him to his back and settled in on him.
I think the thing that, like you said, Cologne is just not afraid of
no intimidation factor.
Not at all. I mean, he just came out there and did his own thing. He didn't defer to Ramos at all from the moment the whistle was going. It was a beautiful match by him.
He dictated it.
Okay, still 0-0 in the third place match between AJ Shaw and Tyler Kraft, except that there is only 2 minutes of
Kraft still scoreless.
I believe that is
in the third place match.
Time might might have been out. We think Beckman might have got the 2, but now they're saying the time might have been out. So
well, this is a
I don't
tough
know if this is going to be a takedown or not.
I'll tell you what.
5th period. So.
Sorry to interject. This is a tough little situation right here. They have tappers. Little kids as tappers, and the young man is out there. He's probably 6 years old, and he missed the tap. And the referee right away looks to the tapper and said, was time out or not? And the little kid's in shock. He didn't know what to say.
I personally think it was a good call. I think he just went to tap him and the referee moved and he didn't get the tap made. So, yeah, great little kid. I love to see these little guys involved.
Yeah, you get a situation like that, all of a sudden,
it happens. So, well, you like for the kids to, the wrestlers to return. So, Alan Waters, by the way, from Missouri, he came back and continued this match. After we thought he might injury to fill it out, because he's wrestling on the tap, so he's not collected points for Missouri or anything of that nature. So,
I think they're in a tie break and they did an automatic release for him, which would have given him a point. So I don't know what's going on here. You know, it's a little confusing for us right now because they're wrestling on the outside of the 3rd and 5th place matches. They're motoring through the bracket. And normally Midlands history will tell you they hold the entire weight class so we don't kind of confuse you on the call different things. You can focus on the weight class. So we're kind of giving you some reminder, folks, to get to the scoring match where we're 10 wrestlers to score. It's not one wrestler per weight.
We've got a shot in there by Tyler Kraft. The score is still 0-0 with 30 seconds to go in the 3rd period. We'll have to see what happens. Tyler Kraft is in the tight. He's lifting the leg up, and is he going to get it on? He's going to get it on AJ Shop. He's going to have to
wait overtime in 5th place.
Shop
facing Beckman of Leeds.
2 minutes riding time. Shop is winning. He's
for 5th place.
He needs this takedown.
Beckman does defeat Alan Waters in 5-2, so Beckman from Lehigh wins it.
Okay, and it looks like Shop is coming around, and Shop may get the points.
Shop got the takedown, 5 seconds left.
Okay,
he's going to win it 2-1.
So there was a good shot in by Tyler Kraft. Did a nice job. Kraft, an outstanding wrestler. He doesn't make mistakes.
Ladies and gentlemen,
great job
wrestling for the championship at 141 pounds. To wear the green ankle band for Team Illinois, Steve Rodriguez.
Number 1 seed.
His opponent in the red, the top seed from Edinburgh, Mitchell Port.
Here we go. They cleared the mats. We should be back on schedule with all 41-pounders on the mat. And here we go out in the center mat. We're going to have Mitchell Port from Edinburgh, the number 1 seed, versus unseeded Stephen Rodriguez from University of Illinois. We talked earlier. This is a young man that kind of brought a little smile to Hef's face, and after a semifinal match. But, Port comes through this thing doing yeoman's work, just grinding away, getting his decisions. And Rodriguez has had to knock off these unseeded people. Tough match. Here we go, shaking him up. Here we go in the center.
It is going to be fun because, like we said too, Tom, we don't know what his ceiling is. Rodriguez's ceiling is.
Okay, over on the 3rd place bout, we've got Rick Durso from Franklin and Marshall. Real plum for that school's team. And Josh
Port strike first with the first takedown. It's at
Rodriguez comes out relatively physical, back and Port down. Port hits a little headshot and takes Rodriguez down.
I got my mics just shy of halfway up.
Nice little ride, drops down. Those guys ride so well. Rodriguez doing a great job working back to his feet, but now that goes
number 6 seed, number 11 seed, number 3 seed, and the number 7 seed just to get to the
finals. And the 3rd place bout out there, we've got Durso and Jetta. And they've been also in the semifinals, and here they are, not in the semifinals, but in the first.
Far has 2 falls, a major decision, and a decision
on
his path to the finals.
There's a speaker, kind of quirks of the bracketing.
There's a speaker on the side that right now that is on, and Dan McCool was messing with it a little bit. It says speaker on. Do you want that off?
Spiral claw ride on top. Rodriguez pops to his feet. Port drops back down the leg. Now Rodriguez is crawling around the mat. Step through Turk. But I don't think he's injured. Yeah, he's over on the edge. Even though there's a score out there. Rodriguez is wrestling tough here. Port is just a phenomenal rider. He's already up to 43 seconds on the ride time. And we're
phone line needs to be collected down in the same position as the car. Do you want the phone line on?
Oh, pancakes him back. Rodriguez was sitting back.
Phone line is off.
Sat back up on his feet and then got pancaked right back to his back and went through. Really good job. Port doing an outstanding job.
You want me to turn it on and off?
A little redrop step through turf. Doesn't get it.
I'll turn it off. Turn it off and back on.
Port doing an outstanding job grinding away on top. Working up that riding time.
And also in that match,
Jim looking for a tilt right there. Second and back, but Rodriguez continues to run.
I got these mics. Let me crank. There's a tilt situation. I play on this one right now. Very close. So I'm going to crank it up. You tell me now if you sense something.
Still on his back. That's a tilt. Don't see it as a fall situation like we talked about earlier, Greg. He's just getting his 3 points and going.
Sounds good. I'll pick right back up.
Right now.
He's got to clear that out. There it is. Thank you, buddy. Nice call.
3 more from Porter, extending at a 5-0 riding time.
It's kind of funny now because Rodriguez is kind of laying there flat where that first whole half that first period he's up on his feet. He gets tilted, took a little wind out of the sails, and if he's not careful right here, he's going to get tilted.
Wrestling out to third place. This is Rick Durso of Franklin and Marshall, and from Iowa, Josh Shella.
Still 0-0 over mat number 3. When we say mat number 3, we're going to talk about the first place match, and place number 5 is the fifth place.
Trying to force a little roll through. He's out of bounds. You know, he can score out there, so show you how hard Port's working. Rodriguez slowed down. He just got hit with the start.
Rodriguez has got a fresh start. 31 to go. Rodriguez.
Port,
redshirt sophomore.
He took a lot of wind out of the sails. Rode hard, tilted him. Took a little wind out of Rodriguez's sails. And now he got dinged for a stall call. So let's see what he does here. He's got 31 seconds. Would be huge for him to get out of this period with over 2.5 minutes riding time. He's got the boot in, the right side boot in, picking the ankles, trying to split his base. There's his base, he split the base, now he's going to come and choke across. He's just punishing on top.
He's got a tough ride. Once you can get those legs in there, boy, it makes a difference, doesn't it, Tom? He's got the figure 4 on the thigh and trying to lock up a cradle here. Standing
up on his feet,
cradle.
they'll get a stalemate there if they let it go. Guys talking to him, they're going to ride the period. Yeah, that's a huge period. 2 minutes, 43 seconds.
The first period report with a 5-0 lead.
5-0
choice.
Okay, over on mat number 3, third place.
The number 1 seed, Rodriguez, unseeded.
By Jella.
Port chooses to go down in the second period. Rodriguez on top, picking the ankle hard, trying to jam.
Ride tough, tight waist, ankle ride there by Rodriguez. He's been the
turn of Rodriguez.
He's the lowest seed probably to make it to the finals, I believe.
Yeah, you know, that's a good solid ride, but he's down by 5 points. You're going to need a little bit more than just a solid ride. You need to be doing something to probably set something up, a tilt or something like that. So, you know, let's see if Rodriguez comes up with anything. The one really positive thing about this is he is chipping away at the riding time. He's down, that's sad to say, to 2:21, and we're going in the second period. Port up early off the whistle, onto his feet, then fighting his way out, and he's out.
Yeah, I can see. Hold on. Yeah, I see that. It is into the far left upper right-hand corner. Up there in the left-hand corner. It's like my Dell. Yeah, it's up there in the left-hand corner. It's like an L-shaped plug-in.
I'd definitely like to see him continue to put the pressure on Rodriguez. I don't think there's much going on here.
Got a fresh start, 59 to go.
Port doing yeoman
2 minutes and 14 seconds riding time.
Another 30, 40 seconds.
That's plugged into a mouse.
On the fifth place mat, 1 point scored. That's it.
See, now Rodriguez is putting a little
There's
bit
nothing
more,
plugged into that little red
nothing
at all.
Now it's time, 1-1.
Yep, there's
I'm not
no
going to say
wire
he's
plugged into
installed. I think he's being a little bit more conservative in the match. Kind of grinding out with him a little bit.
Let's see,
Let's make Rodriguez make the mistake, extend himself, bad shot, etc. For Fort the tempo is definitely slowed down. We got 25 seconds left.
No, there's only there's all of our headphone plugins, okay, Scott in the back, and then there's a power one only going over to the little battery thing. You said, Steve, don't forget to bring that home when it's plugged in to the outlet. Other than that, there's nothing else that's coming out of the Takedown Radio box. Nothing at all. There's nothing else coming out of there. That's our problem. That's our problem, isn't it?
And Rodriguez is going to choose that. I don't think he's going to cut it.
Over on the third place match, 3-1 lead.
That's the red or orange one down in the far in the corner down there, next to the mouse.
Caution to start that third period.
Each wrestler must be set and not move until the referee blows the whistle.
Long silver thing sticking out of the mixer. No, there is not.
Kicking out his legs, a little bit of a spiral.
No, there's nothing sticking out. All that's there is the power source going to the electrical outlet, and then you have the microphone.
Rodriguez isn't done much.
Rodriguez has stepped heavily
He's still wrestling this match.
Riding time is short at this point.
Great shot.
Yeah, I see it.
There's somebody that needs to put the corner on the backside and see if we can bring it. I think kind of see it again in this match. But Rodriguez is wrestling extremely tough here.
Third place match right here involves Rick Durst, the first wrestler from Franklin Marshall to ever place at the Midlands Championship.
And the winner is Indiana. That's
okay.
From Indiana. He beats Greco, but there was a good move by Greco at the end, and the crowd roughed about it.
Now wrestling for third place.
I think so.
149 pounds. Brody Gross of Iowa. Brandon Sorensen unattached.
Right away, Rodriguez bounce up off his feet and back in on a shot. So, like I say, I like this match. These guys are not done wrestling. You know, Port is doing a great job in dominating tempo and pace and turns, but Rodriguez, unseated, he doesn't know he's unseated. He's coming in and wrestling hard. We're down to the last 31 seconds.
Yeah, I'm looking at the green one.
And now on back 5, 149. This is Jason Surtis, Northwestern, Blake Grillo, unattached, George Mason.
Nice job. I like to see
25 seconds remaining here in the championship final in the center mat. 10-2
and it's going to be silver.
Something big. He's down by 8 points. He needs to kind of a little hand fight change and a little bit of a home run type of throw here or something. Put himself back in this match.
Let's see. I see more microphones.
Port just wrestling solid spin out of bounds. Okay. 4 seconds left.
The third place match is 149.
Yeah, and there's a wire on it. It's blue at the end. It's got a blue plug in, and it's a little.
And tap on a point for riding time. Your winner with a major decision and champion of the Midlands at 141 pounds from Edinburgh, Mitchell Port.
The microphone ones, not the ones that snap in, but it's got like a 3-prong plug in, and it's blue. Plugs in.
Just about a minute before we go to the next match.
Okay, you would plug into that.
149 now. The third and fifth place matches have already started on that.
But that's it. Yeah, I'm here. Do you want me to plug that in? Well, I think so. Let me describe it to you again. It's something that would fit. It's got a 3-prong outlet on the metal piece, on the metal end.
Okay.
Silver end, and it's got like a microphone or a headphone plug-in that will go in that little orange or red hole up at the front of the computer.
Growth is from Iowa.
Yep.
Right, so we have 2 wrestlers out there. Sorensen is on the top. At the moment, let's look and Sorensen got that immediate takedown when there's an escape for Growth is out there.
First?
Actually, for Iowa to get even more points to break the record, they need to have Growth in there.
That's going to go in right where the power, right underneath, behind the power button.
Really impressive.
Yep, I see where that's at, and then I come around and I plug the other one into the red or orange hole up here, the
really looking
phone
forward
jack
to this
hole.
match. I'm really curious to see what Grajales comes up
Right.
with
Okay, I'll do it right now.
Wrestling for the championship at 149 pounds, representing Lehigh, wearing the green ankle mat, Mitchell Minotti.
And his opponent in the red, the number 5 seed from Michigan, Eric Grajales.
Yeah, they come out and Grajales is aggressive right off the bat. He's moving forward right off the bat, controlling the ties, pushing the pace a little bit on him. You know, Minotti's trying to slow him down a little bit. I think they expect that from Grajales a little bit. He's going to come out hard and hope he fades late. Last 2 matches, he has not done that.
Okay, I'm going to do it right now. Do you want me to do it and then call you right back, and you can give me some feedback, or you want to just
meet the expectations that, you know, that everybody has from him. And let's not make a mistake that we
Michigan's Eric Grajales, a senior from Brandon, Florida.
We mean
Into the tournament ranked 16th.
Perfect. And you can let me know if it's helped us out.
Stellar tournament.
Top of the podium type of
Sounds good. I'm doing it right
No
now.
matter what happens, he's going to go out.
Okay, man.
Number 4 seed Zach Hyman, quarterfinals. Top seed starts us.
into a single. He's hand fighting, turns passes over the
His
head.
opponent is unranked Mitch Minotti. Grajales with a cradle on the edge.
Move. Yep. Locks up a cradle. Yeah, he's so explosive. Yeah. That's exactly why we love him so much.
I've watched him because of that potential in him from when he was in high school, and I have never seen him wrestle as well as he's wrestled in this tournament.
Exactly. He's hand fighting over on the edge, hand fighting. He does a little elbow pass off the head, drops down, hits a single, pulls him back on, Minotti back on to finish the single.
Okay, over on the third place match over there, it's tied 2-2. It's Iowa 2 and Iowa 2. There's 2 Iowa wrestlers out there. Of course, as I mentioned, Sorensen is wrestling unattached.
The great thing about Grajales is he's equally as dangerous on the mat, and you're not sure what he might hit. You know, he does like that cradle. Got the leg hook, doing a little step around action on top. There it is. He's going to pull the head, looking to set up that cradle. You know, Minotti's got a little bit wise to it. He does that little ankle trap ride. He sits back on that backside ankle and chop to look to take him down.
Okay, we're going to try to get you a little information on that 5th place match as well. That's Tsurtsis going against Rulo. That's what it's supposed to be, but I don't see it here. Have they moved up to 157? I'll have to check and see.
Great ride by Grajales. Great ride by Grajales. Minotti's out. Grajales with one arm around the waist has to pull him back down, roll out of bounds. I'm liking what I see, Greg. I'm really liking what I see out of Grajales at this point. You know, last 2 matches, and now we're here in the finals, and he's got a great tempo, 50 seconds ride time already in the first period.
Yeah, and it's not really that we're pushing for one wrestler over the other. We're pushing for the sport of wrestling. When these guys reach their peaks and stuff like that, it's good for the whole sport. Over on the 3rd place match, it's still 2-2 with 1 minute to go in the 2nd period.
Looking for that cradle again. He likes to catch that chin, put weight on the head, lets you bait you to come up, blocks the inside arm. He does a step round, hooks the back ankle, pulls the chin to you, and as soon as you go ahead and turn to fight it out, he locks up that cradle on the near side cradle. Not quite sure what Minotti's thinking here, and looking for a switch, and Minotti hits a switch and comes out with the stand up for his point. We're back on our feet neutral with 35 seconds left in the period, with Grajales winning 2-1. Here we go. Now this is where I like to see Grajales go ahead and finish it out. Stay focused. He worked really hard on top. Minotti pushed him from the bottom if you can go with that, but this is where we got to go push it through if I'm Eric Grajales.
Okay, unfortunately I'm starting to see him back up a bit, and I don't know if that's because he's tired or what, but this is the first time I've seen him start to backpedal a little bit. I hope it's not a trend.
Exactly. That's why I said Minotti pushed him. Even though he was on the bottom, he kept coming up and made him work.
Not much is happening right there. Still 2-2 on the 3rd place match.
All right, here we go. It's 2-1, end of the first period. Grajales has 1:25 on the ride time. His choice defers over to Minotti. Minotti is going to choose. I mean, they're kind of debating between the 2 coaches. He's already deferred to him, so Minotti's going to make up his mind. He's chosen neutral. He doesn't want any part of that escape. I'm not, you know, give or take. I'm not sure I like it,
tough
but
on top, so. But yeah, Just 2-1, but Grajala's kind of been in the driver's seat. Is that right?
Right.
Take care of some technical stuff.
He has, but in the last half of that first period, as Greg said, he's starting to get on his heels just a little bit.
Sure.
You know, so I mean, you don't like to see something like that, but let's see how he closes this out.
Well, he's going for throwing situations, it looks like to me over there, you know?
Okay, over on the 5th place match, Matt, there, Jason Surtis of Northwestern is leading by a score of 7-1 in the third period over Rulo of George Mason, or wrestling unattached, but he goes to George Mason.
7-1.
You know, I think one of the things with Grajales, he goes so explosive and so big time, he kind of burns a lot of energy, gets himself tired. Yeah. And I think that's might have what he's done here a little bit, because, as Greg said earlier, he's on his heels here.
He's looking winded.
The aggressiveness is not there anymore, but Minotti's not capitalizing on it. Minotti needs to get in his face and pick up the tempo, but he's not doing it. He's just kind of pity-patting with the hand fighting out on the edge of the mat.
Here, can you pin out of bounds?
Okay.
As little as you can.
Okay, and the wrestlers on the championship match almost run into the wrestlers in the 3rd place match, where Sorensen is now leading by a score of 4-2 with 55 seconds to go in the 3rd period.
54 seconds left in the 2nd period, and now Grajales kind of picks it up a little bit. Might have been playing coy, taking a break or something like that, but it'd be really nice to see Grajales get a takedown here. Now they're just a little head slap, and I imagine the referee, Minotti, in on a nice single leg, head slap into a single leg. Now Grajales is fighting this off really hard. He's popped him up, but Grajales has trapped the left arm. No, he let it go. He's got his left arm trapped. I'm kind of thinking they're going to call this potentially dangerous. They keep going up any higher.
Yep.
No. He let go of the arm trap and dropped him down to his hip. Grajales, I'll tell you what, he can defend in here pretty well, but he's burning some gas. And I don't know if they're going to give 2 here. Yes, they did. They gave 2.
10 seconds remaining in the second.
You know, Grajales has got to bail on this. He's got the same hold trying to trap the body, and he's already been taken down. He needs to turn, bail, and try to get 1 here.
Okay, so that changes the lead to 3-2 in favor of Minotti after being behind the whole match. And
he does look winded.
Yeah,
Grajales. I mean, Grajales does.
Minotti is back up again and walking around, and Grajales just gets
some
up off the mat.
Some of that could be your warm-up. You know, you're a coach, and you know sometimes, you know, some of your kids get so worked up before matches. Sometimes they burn up a lot of energy. And I don't know what his regimen is, but
Grajales is chosen down in the 3rd period. You know, give or take, he gets an escape, he gets a point. He had 1:15 on the riding time, so give or take, you know, you want to get out right away, or just worry about I'll get out late and get my 1 point. If he explodes, gets out right away, he saves them both.
By the way, for 3rd place, it's a battle of 2 Hawkeyes.
Up on his feet, little Granby roll out, in on a double situation. Nope, he's on his feet. Now we're battling out here with Minotti in on a single, head buried in the middle, and Grajales is just going to hang out, trying to explode. Minotti's got the elbow, but he's hanging in on the leg, and basically that's a freestyle tilt, a waist tilt and stuff like that, where I think he could score. He's broken his grip, now he's back on his feet.
And they go out of bounds.
Gave him his point. Did not keep the riding time advantage, but he did get the point. So now the score is 3-3, and Grajales has 40 seconds riding time. We got 1:25 left in the match, and here we go. Let's see what we have.
Right at that end of that move, Grajales started to pick the pace up again. You know, it seemed he kind of got out of that funk. Let's see if he can do it. But he is definitely winded out there, and he is backing up. Let's see what happens.
Sursus wins 18-4, big, 14-point win.
Kind of MO on this. I think he's going to have one. He's going to have 1 or 2 explosive goes. There's one shot, a little explosive, kind of dove a little bit at the leg. Now Minotti comes back with a counter shot of his own. Grajales with that underhook defends it.
Over on the 3rd place match, I believe that Sorensen won that one 4-2. I'll have to check that out, but Sorensen was winning, and that match went off while we were watching this center championship.
Minotti back in on a shot, pops him up, splits the middle. This is the exact same position they were in when Minotti scored last time, but only this time he kept the arm trapped. Referee called the stalemate back on their feet. Look for Grajales to make his move here pretty soon. You know, I think mentally kids getting a shot, they think if they score too quick, they're afraid to have to stall and everything else. I think he's going to try to play coy. Last 30 seconds in, he's probably going to start to pick up the tempo and explode on him.
Otherwise, we're going to sudden victory if that doesn't happen.
Right, and if we go to overtime, I'm not sure that Grajales is going to have the gas to do it.
This is what he did. Grajales got his first takedown. He lulls him to sleep, but no, Minotti in on another single leg. very deep.
Oh man!
And Grajales with that little knee trap over, and you know what? Great scramble, great scramble. He's got the body lock, arm trapped, looking for a defensive fall, not there. He's still in deep on the legs. He sits Grajales back on his hip. He's going to get this. 7 seconds left. Grajales hanging on tough, got the head buried, trying to lock in the clutch. They're going into overtime. He did not get it. Minotti with a great shot. Bounced around. Grajales just hung on for dear life in that situation.
Drooping over the top was Grajales' savior right there when he was drooped clear up over the top.
And he does that a lot.
Minotti.
So I've seen him do that a lot. So it's not an unknown situation for him. We are starting the overtime here. We've talked about Grajales being out of gas, and one thing I have to say about Minotti is that he doesn't look gassed at all.
No.
I mean, he's not breathing hard. He's not nothing. Grajales has his mouth open. He's gasping for air.
Still, he needs to take some
still
shots.
Has a little respect. They're still doing the feeling out. 37 seconds left. Going to have to see a little bit more urgency on one of these guys, unless Minotti thinks he's going to take it into the tie breaks and going to beat him in the ride out and the escapes on that way.
The other one for third place, by the way, Sorensen, the Battle of the Hawkeyes, beat Grothus of Iowa.
Outside single by Minotti. You know, the thing about this, Minotti's patience is going to work against him in this situation because, you know, Grajales is probably a little bit winded here, but he's gaining his gas back, just kind of waiting here and not have to wrestle. Down the last 5 seconds, he's sitting on the edge of the mat, waiting to counter offense. Minotti takes a shot, pushes him. We're going into the tie breaks.
Victory. We will head now to the first set of 30-second tiebreakers.
You know, the one thing, Grajales isn't even up. Minotti showed a little bit of wind here. He's in the center, and now everybody's taking a leisurely walk around. What's going on?
Ref needs to take control and make these kids get out.
Minotti's sitting there hanging out right in front of Coach Santoro. He needs to hustle back in the center and get in there. Minotti's choice first. He chooses to go down.
In the
Not necessarily a big surprise. We're in the tie breaks, 30-second tie breaks. We wipe off the riding time. We start fresh.
So on top will be
Grajales
Grajales.
set, and here we go. Let's see what Grajales. I bet he goes to that front head and arm.
Yeah, it's his go-to move, isn't it?
Yep, starts to come to his feet. No, he's just going to sit and hang on. No locked hands, a little standing switch.
Coming down
now he's
to the
in
leg.
a single.
Coming to the leg. Now he's up. He's got a step over.
Through Turk.
Step through Turk. That ties up.
Greg, I don't see the urgency in Minotti either right here.
No, he's acting like he's tired too, or just.
He may be winded, but he's not just going to sit straight. Come on up, kick. Now we need to kick. Now we need to kick.
And he needs to move up.
Now we need to
kick. They didn't get out of bounds, but stalemate.
You know what? That's an okay call. I'm not going to say a good one because you know what?
Sometimes
when a kid drops, I stalemate that right now because nobody's going to improve.
Right.
He wasted about 5 seconds. I'm not saying a bad call, but I think they need to stalemate. When a guy drops to his ankle in the tie breaks, we stop it right now because you can't do anything with it.
Right. There's nothing you can do. You can't climb.
Yeah.
You can't climb up the leg.
3 seconds. Grajales has got 3 seconds. I don't want to say safe to say he's going to ride it out here, but he's going to have to come through here.
One thing we just noticed here is that the limping back to the center.
Here we go.
Okay, so
Grajales turn on the bottom.
Okay.
You know what? I don't think he's in great shape here. I don't know. I don't think Minotti's in the freshest shape either. But
no,
I will
say
this about Grajales. The young man does find a little spot to give me an explosion.
Yeah, he's got.
If he's got an explosion, you know, here it is. Look at him. He's coiling up. You see, he's loading up the arms to come on up.
You can tell he wants to.
Watch his get, well, you can't watch obviously on radio, but what Grajales does, as they set him, the referee will tell the bottom man to get set, and as the top man goes on, he starts to lower his elbow to explode back up. See, there he is. He starts to dip down just a little bit to work on that explosion.
Coming out, let me tell you, kick out.
No stall calls, and he's out.
He's out. He's got the escape.
He's out.
Now he just can't get taken down. He's going to have to stay busy.
And Grajales is not going to get his butt off the out-of-bounds line.
And he's gotten his energy back a little bit in that little spurt
seconds.
there.
Yeah.
To look active, but not be active, actually.
Tom brought it up earlier. He's got just enough spark occasionally to...
He's going to go take, you watch, he's going to take his butt back to the center. He's going to drift back. You know, but Minotti's not helping his case here. He's not going after him. You know, he's in the tiebreak, and he gets into a takedown. He dives in a shot.
He gets the point for Minotti. Wow, Grajales trying to kick out. That could be the match, guys. That's the match.
That's time. Great job, Minotti. Like I say, great job by Minotti. You know,
Mitch Minotti wins it for Lehigh.
Greg, I'm not sold.
Oh.
I'm back to indecisive on him.
Right.
Yeah, I don't think he wrestled poorly. I mean, he's in overtime. He loses in the tie breaks on the takedown. You know, Minotti didn't look like the freshest guy either, but I can't say that's all on Grajales, although I think he could get better in that situation and push himself a little bit more.
It
gave up at the end.
Yeah. It was a good match, and you know, like I say, Minotti in much better condition than Grajales was. We saw that by the second period. We saw Grajales huffing and puffing out there, and we saw that Minotti wasn't even breathing hard. Wasn't breathing hard when he got that takedown at the end either. So a nice job by him out there. And what can we say? Grajales had a good tournament, but he didn't make it all the way to the finals. Okay,
congratulations to Coach Pat Santoro from Lehigh and Mitchell Minotti, the 149-pound Midlands champion.
Good job by Lehigh. Now we have Bruschetta out here, I think. Right. Don't we? Is that right? Your buddy Bruschetta out here against Jordan from Wisconsin, I believe.
He'll be coming out there. Is that
match
we're still at 149 out.
In the fifth place match, you got Bruschetta and Jordan over here.
Yeah, right.
They're at 157, everything but the championship.
Okay, and over in the third place match, we've got Isaiah Martinez from the University of Illinois going on attack, and Gresheimer from Edinburgh, John Gresheimer.
Gresheimer just took the lead.
Yeah, he just did a takedown there. That puts it 6-5 with minute and 15 to go in the third period.
Martinez had been leading that whole match until right now. Isaiah good hips, comes up to his feet. Now he's working for a reversal. And does he get it? Gresheimer doing a good job keeping it into a roll situation.
I was at the University of Illinois the day after that Coach Jim Heffernan had signed Isaiah Martinez, and he was Isaiah Martinez, and he was slap happy about that. He's got a lot of faith in this young kid, but and here he is basically in his first year of wrestling there, and he's going for third place in the Midlands.
He wrestled St. John's earlier in the tournament, did
St. John's beat him. The other thing I got to say about Isaiah Martinez beat Isaac Jordan, who took St. John into overtime and lost to overtime.
So we're going to have a lot of fun in that weight class for years to come.
That's two young kids.
The score is now tied 6-6.
Look at this. Look at this. Wow, what a situation here. But Bruschetta got it.
In on the single.
Oh,
big
win by Bruschetta.
Roll and try to roll through him. And Bruschetta just said big armed him and stopped him flat on his back.
Bruschetta did a great job there.
He got the takedown.
Big win there by Bruschetta.
You know, the one part about that, I'm not quite sure, but as a coach, I might kind of chirp at the referee. You got to let that go to a fall. You got to give him, with the guys,
opportunity.
Even in the overtime, the tie breaks, no matter where you're at in the overtime, they have to let the young man work for the fall.
Yeah, they really do. They do. Yep.
Because that's 2 bonus points in the tournament format wrestling, or even in dual meets. You have to let them get that bonus point.
Yes, you do.
Okay, we can't see that third place match, but it's 9-6 at this point. I have to believe that's Gresheimer, who's got it.
Gresheimer won.
Martinez was in the green, and Gresheimer.
Yep. From Edinburgh, so he wins.
And but a nice job by Isaiah Martinez. A young wrestler doing a nice job to place fourth at freshman, placing fourth at the Midlands tournament. You know, I can't complain. I would settle for that. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to 157 pounds. Derek St. John's against Walsh, Taylor Walsh, and both of these guys are favorites of Steve. So we're going to turn this match over to Steve.
Well, I have a lot of fun with it, but as the night grows longer, I get a little tired. As I get tighter, I have less to say, but my heart's still here. I absolutely love being here tonight, so I'm going to ask you guys to feel free to jump in, but I can talk about stuff, but I'm going to talk about these two guys. You ready? Derek St. John, the #1 seed, wrestling the pinning machine, Taylor Walsh from Indiana Hoosiers. And Taylor's been pinning people right and left, even after he gives up some points. Sometimes he gives up points, but he's so dangerous from so many different directions. And you know, he's probably not giving a lot of length away to St. John. For the most part, St. John's a lot taller and lankier than his opponents, but in this case, that's not true. In the corner is Brands and Burra. Is that right, for Iowa?
Yes.
Is that Burra? Over here, and then we got Dwayne Goldman Iowa Hawkeye standout back in the day. Him and Dan Chade had some matches, didn't they? That were some knockdown dragouts from Chade from Oklahoma Sooners and Goldman from Iowa. And then, of course, the East Lansing Strangler, Nick Simmons in the corner there, too. And he's sure proud of this Walsh. What's that?
We had him on the pre-show talking about the baby and
the little strangler coming.
And Taylor Walsh in particular.
Exactly. Great job.
You know what?
2-on-1 Russian tie by Walsh.
Looks like, I'm not saying St. John is being nervous here, but he's being very respectful of the different positions that Taylor's trying to put him in.
Somebody might have told him, hey, by the way, you might think you're winning before you know you're in trouble.
One of the things we might say about them is the similarity in their physiques, and that's something that probably neither wrestler encounters that often.
Yeah, they're both real tall and lean.
Just about the same height, both kind of lanky and obviously very strong, but I know that in the matches I saw before, St. John's was always wrestling much shorter wrestlers.
At times it looks like Walsh wants St. John's to be successful at some of that stuff because he tries to get the cow catcher on him. I noticed he had an underhook there. It's like he almost wants St. John's to shoot in on him.
And he just did. And are we going to get 2 for St. John? We did.
And Walsh has trailed other matches that he's pinned people. So.
Well, that's the thing. It doesn't make any difference what the score is if you pin your opponent.
There he tried an elevator. He tried to elevate St. John.
Great job by the referee.
Tough three-quarter Nelson.
Great job. Taylor.
Look at this. He has St. John in trouble out of bounds.
That's the point.
He was going to pin him. Out of bounds.
Quarter Nelson. He gets out, slaps on a quarter Nelson, hangs out there on the edge.
I'm surprised. Well,
I should mention so that you know in advance that after this bout we're going to have a 12-minute intermission.
Yeah.
So be prepared for that, and we'll bring you an update at that time of what the matches that have transpired and our thoughts for the future on these.
Yeah, from 84 up. I think we left off at 74. So collar tie here between St. John and Walsh, both of the young men fighting.
One of the things that Taylor Walsh does, like I said, he invites you to take a shot and do certain things.
Yes.
But you know what? You can get away with that to 85, 90% of the people. But that last 10%, they're pretty good.
Do you know what?
You let him grab a single, he's going to finish it.
Yeah. Do you know what year he is? I don't know.
Walsh is a redshirt junior.
Redshirt
junior. Well, boy, I tell you, he did something over the summer, taught him how to throw people around. He's really come on strong. You did say, Tom, he's been to the round of 12, correct?
Yes. As a freshman, he was 1-2 last year, but as a freshman, he was at the round of 12. He's a match away from placing.
He's dangerous. So, but St. John is the defending champ, guys, and he's in the #1 seed and hasn't lost a match yet this year for the Iowa Hawkeyes. Brands and company, and he leads right now 2-1 with 13 seconds to go in the first period.
And I have to say that every time I see St. John, I'm more and more impressed with him.
Yes.
Yeah.
I don't see him as often as you do, so you've made your decision. But
he's got nice power for his length, and he's dangerous. He's got a little bit of funk, not dangerous funk, maybe like a Brenzer or Ben Askren or a Brian or a Jason Welch. But I mean, he can funk with some guys if he needs to. He can get a little unorthodox and stuff.
He's not your prototypical Iowa wrestler,
physical double
grinding,
leg, single leg.
But he does have the characteristics. He's
chicken
moving
wing
forward.
Yes.
He's going to grind you in his way. Far side cradle.
Boy, and I tell you, St. John did a good job getting out of that. But you can see where this Walsh, he loves to go for the pin. And he'll come over the top of you and really put the hurt down on you. I got to believe Simmons, some of this stuff where he works up around the throat and the head and the neck, this is Nick Simmons stuff right here, guys. This is where he likes, that's where the Strangler loved to go after people.
If you notice right here, if you remember last year, Taylor Massa and even Fleming from Clarion used to hit that head and arm in a choking situation. Now that's referee's discretion to see what it is.
Keep track of it.
But Tom Brands is up talking about the new rules and saying that rule has been banned. You cannot do that. So he's up trying to talk to the official in a nice democratic manner, walking around, chirping at the official that you are not allowed to do that.
They can dictate.
He's still working the official. I think that rule is when it comes across the throat and
below the chin.
The air, yes. So, it's kind of interpretation. It's not a hard rule. So I think Tom was working the official there. Definitely saw him doing it.
The matches for 3rd and 5th place and that have already taken place. And again, there's no new matches on there because of the break we're going to have.
St. John coming out the back door there and getting escape. Walsh into a Granby roll right away, but now 4-1 with a takedown and 2-point reversal.
Walsh jumped up really high, tried a little bit of craziness, put him to his back.
He was clinging on there strong, but
St. John slid out the back door on him.
Shook him off. I mean, really kind of shook him off of there and came out and back door and got the 2-point reversal. So 4-1, 1 minute and 3 seconds to go in the second period. It's Greg Zafros, the champ, as I referred, as Tom Erickson. I'd call him the Intimidator back in the day. I still won't mess with him. And then myself, Steve Foster, here bringing the action. What do you see, Dom?
Riding time's nothing, 2 seconds.
Yep. 2 seconds.
That's where Taylor Walsh got to be careful. You know, you can't keep baiting him in on the home run moves. Let's get our one escape, make it 4-2, striking distance in the third.
In case you don't get the pin, you still want to be able to win by points.
And we talked about earlier in the show, getting a little preview, Taylor Walsh is still tough.
Sure.
He can pin you, absolutely, but he's still a tough kid. He can beat you by points, too.
And in this case, with a upper echelon type of wrestler like St. John, he's going to have to realize that might be all he's going to be able to do, if that at all, is to win by points.
But St. John, just solid. Here's the length. Look at his hand. That deep, tight waist, changing positions, right side, left side, switching
trying to get out.
Picking the ankle, riding the clock down.
St. John tough on top.
15 seconds to go.
In that second period here at the 157-pound weight class, 51st Ken Kraft Midlands Championship here on the campus at Northwestern University in Evanston, Illinois. Suburban Chicago, and right now St. John really riding.
He got away with riding that ankle a little bit long for my taste, but hey, if you got away with it. The neat thing here, you look at the score, it's 4-1, and he's got 105 riding time, and Walsh is choosing down.
Walsh is choosing down, so he's going to try to get that escape. But
and St. John's looking over at Tom asking what to do.
I guess the question here is he going to go for an escape, or is he going to go for a 5-point move?
Yeah, right. Well, up to his foot, literally, is Walsh. He just gets up to kind of hop out of bounds there as St. John had the ankle wrapped up.
I think right here, coaches and Derek are going to be a little bit more conservative, stay behind the hips, not do anything crazy here, and just kind of ride a little bit. You want to get away from me, fine, but I'm not going to grab onto something tight where you can throw me to my back.
Exactly. Out of bounds again they go. Same situation.
Right
with that
behind the
stand
hips,
up.
Drops his shoulder right behind the hips. You want to hop, I'll ride you right out of bounds.
Those two moves there from the whistle took only 8 seconds.
Wow. Yeah, so... Yeah, jump from, I think, India. Yeah. He did the last time, too, maybe. He might have jumped a little prematurely. Ref didn't call it, but this time he was keeping an eye on it. So, yep, up. There's that ankle grab with the tight waist for St. John. And he tries to run it. Walsh trying to do a set-out switch, but his ankle's not free.
St. John's got, at some point, got to come off the ankle.
Yeah, he did. There you go. Just as you called it, Coach. It happened. So, there he is with a reach back for Walsh.
Not yet.
To do that reach back. Now he got the escape, so he's keeping it within striking distance in case he needs to win by points. But big shot there by St. John. So big trip situation.
2 points for St. John, and he almost put
almost got his own 2.
Almost
got 2 and 2, but he didn't. Just 2-point takedown. He's now up 6-2.
You know what? I think Walsh is a little bit close to the point of panicking to put himself back on his back.
Yeah.
You know, I just really
got to secure those points.
It's really easy to second guess, but personally, I just wonder whether he would have been better off taking the top position and just working straight for that pin.
Right. Try to work him.
You know, I mean, he's just not going anywhere at this point, and there's 45 seconds to go.
Riding time's a lock. He's up 6-3. Riding time's locked, so it scores actually 7-3.
Right.
Walsh's back is against the wall. 38 seconds to go, so Walsh really going to have to attack. He tries a little half-hearted foot sweep attempt there. Nice shot out there by St. John. Stuffing the head is big takedown attempt there. Nice whizzer there by big spin around here by Walsh.
We're going to get 2, and there it is. 2 points for Derek St. John. And he's just going to ride it out. There's 14 seconds to go.
Big win by St. John, by the national champ.
I think a very good tactical win by St. John's. I mean, he completely neutralized Walsh on this one. Obviously they studied him. Nice job.
That kind of reminds me of 9-3 with 2 minutes and 21 seconds of riding time. So Derek St. John wins it. He just kind of dictated the match a lot like I thought Gilman did against Garnett.
Yeah.
Just from the get-go.
Yeah.
He just stayed in the driver's seat. like workman-like fashion, and Tom likes to use that, and it works, that phrase. And he just went out and did what he had to do and won the title. So.
Yeah, that was solid.
Yeah,
he got a scramble. He got down deep on the leg shot. He didn't stay in the upper body positions, that little neck wrenches and things
right, the
like
over and unders, cow catcher maybe, or the cradle. You know, I think Walsh did have the cradle locked up, but
Okay, we mentioned to you earlier, this is Greg Zaffros along with Tom Erickson and Steve Foster, that we mentioned that there's going to be, I think, a 12.5-minute break, they said, for some of the other communications to do their work and for the crowd to relax a little bit. People are heading to the concession stand or the restrooms right now. We have a really pretty good crowd here on both sides, and it's always nice to see because the Midlands tournament has to finance itself. It does get some contributions from Northwestern University, but it is a separate entity from the school. It's not part of the wrestling program specifically, and so it's nice to see that a lot of people in the stands. I would say that we have a few thousand.
There's thousands.
Yeah, we're in the thousands here, a couple thousand people. Welsh Ryan Arena used to be called McGraw Hall when I wrestled here, or wrestled
earlier Midlands, I think it was McGraw Hall before they did the renovation.
Right, and that was it. And I wrestled in McGraw Hall several times coming down from the University of Wisconsin. It's one of the smaller arenas. It holds about 7,000 people as opposed to these 15 to 18 to 20,000 person arenas.
I love it. You look at the football field, what's that hold? About 35, 40,000.
It's intimate.
They know their market, and they don't try to go anything past it.
Right.
I'm quite sure, being Northwestern and the alumni they have, they might be able to put a 20,000-seat arena.
Yeah, the finances are there.
Why would you do that when you couldn't fill it?
Yeah, well, when I was I hate to say this, but when I was at the University of Wisconsin, they put an addition onto the football field. It could hold 77,000 people, and we would get about 18,000 people at a game because they were lousy.
That loses its intimacy.
Yeah, so and
the noise factor too is not there as good as it used to be.
So it's a great place to watch wrestling. You're really close. And I remember going to the NCAAs when they were down at the University of North Carolina, and I'll tell you, I was up with the birds up on top, and stuff like that. You needed binoculars to see the wrestling. This is great here.
Yeah. So well, we got some good matches. We left off at 174, so we'll bring it here at 184. We'll talk a little bit about.
Just got handed.
Okay, let's get guys.
We got time here. Just got handed. We talked about people moving.
Want to do top 15 or 20? I mean, it's up to you if you want to drop it beyond 10.
Just do what you want.
Okay, looking at it right here, looking people making moves and stuff like that. Michigan's made a move closer to Illinois. They started out the round at 77 with Illinois with 82. Michigan's moved up to 80, and Illinois moved up to 83. So they've got Kuhn that's going to wrestle. So there's a chance for Michigan to jump from fourth to third.
Wouldn't that be funny if it came down to the heavyweight match there with Kuhn to see where they're going to finish? Yeah.
Oh, gotta absolutely love that. And another one, Maryland started the round in seventh. They're still in seventh, but the surprise, Lehigh jumped from 10th to 7th place.
Yeah,
Lehigh sit down there at 55.5 points, jumped up.
Minotti beat Grahalis
5 points and jumped up there, and they're in a tie for 7th place. With Maryland and Northwestern. Northwestern was in 8th. Now they moved up 1 spot with that match, and they've got 2 left to go in the conference. Polizzi's going to have to go yet, and what do we have at 84?
Maryland is really well positioned. There are actually 3 teams tied.
Coming.
Yeah, 3 teams tied for 7th place: Lehigh, Maryland, and Northwestern. And Maryland has 2 wrestlers coming up that I'll be giving you the play-by-play on in the finals. So they have a chance to add, just 5 to 8 points or so.
With different things on bonus, but even the wins in the matches are 1 point for the consolation matches. But that just a couple wins right there, that's going to jump them up and put them up in 6th place all by themselves. They'll overtake Wisconsin. So that's a really big deal. The thing that makes that kind of special, let's think about that in the long term, that what makes that special with Maryland is next year they come into the Big Ten.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do.
That's a nice message Kerry McCoy is going to send and say, look, we can compete with you Big Ten teams. We took 7th place in your tournament. We matched you guys in your own tournament. So
absolutely.
That's a nice little job by Kerry. Looking down there in 10th place, Indiana started the round in 9th place, and they dropped to 10th. You know, so that's what I'm saying. It's kind of fun to
Walsh
see
didn't
how
win.
things
He
move.
lost to St. John. There was a point opportunity for him.
Walsh lost to St. John, and Indiana's done.
They're finished.
So right now, they're in 10th.
What
and
you see is
you're
what you
hoping,
get.
And you know who can catch them? Columbia. Columbia can catch them. North Dakota State can catch
Monk's
them
up next
as well. So you know they're not out of the woods yet. So they nice, great finish, a top 10 finish. One of their big studs is out there at heavyweight, but you know what? Hey, we can kind of whine about that. As Greg so obviously pointed out, Northwestern's coming in here without two major guns.
Right.
Not one, but two major guns. And, you know, they're sitting down here in a tie for 7th place. And like I say, I throw in conservatively 20 points on that. That takes
McMullen and Munster.
And quite candidly, between those two guys, that's 25, if not more. So I'll give them 5 more. That puts them in the clear 3rd place.
Yeah.
So,
that hurt.
You know, that always helps. The home team always does well like that. So,
okay, thanks, Tom. Let's give a preview of the next couple of matches coming up. And
well, we've done 65-74,
right.
So we go with 84.
Yeah, let's go with 84 because that's going to be coming up shortly too, and it's very important for that team score like Tom just mentioned, because at 184 we've got the number 1 seed Ethan Lofthouse of Iowa, number 1 seed, expected to be in the finals, and he certainly was, and the number 2 seed Jimmy Sheptock of Maryland also made it. So this is the second of only two weight classes where the number 1 and number 2 seeds are meeting each other. The only other one is 165. So this should be a good one. The 2 top wrestlers are going to meet. And like Tom just said, Maryland needs to win these matches, try to move up in the team standings and make a really good showing. They already have made a good showing. Now,
Lofthouse is hard to move. He's hard to move around. Even if he doesn't score a lot of points, he's hard to score on.
Sheptock's not too bad either.
Tough though. Yeah, he's strong. He's got a lot of power.
He's good. He
can match him with power.
Yeah, he is getting more prestige, more
accolades.
Coverage and accolades as almost every day. Let's go to 197, where we're getting the second of the University of Maryland wrestlers there, and we've got Christian Boley, a short, stocky, really tough wrestler, and he's going against Braden Atwood of Purdue. Who knows anything about the school at Purdue there? I guess maybe Tom does. Well, that's he used to be the coach there. What can I say?
He can tell you how many buildings are on the campus.
Yeah, Atwood's wrestled a great tournament. You know, I would have loved to see him go with the match with Gonzalez. The neat thing about this, the only one that Atwood didn't beat in that semifinal, he's beaten Burak last year and Boley last year. The only one he hadn't beaten was Gonzalez. Yeah. Don't know if he would have beaten Gonzalez, but I think Gonzalez hurt his ribs in that match.
Right, and if you didn't hear that in our earlier broadcast, and we're always sad when something like this happens. Mario Gonzalez, the number 1 seed from the University of Illinois, was injured, had some kind of a rib or sternum.
Looked like his rib cage area.
Rib cage, sternum area, and that prevented him from continuing on in the match, and we were sad to see that. Adds another injury to the University of Illinois team, which has suffered greatly from that at this point. So that allowed Atwood to move on. Is it Braden or Braden? Braden Atwood.
It'll probably get loud. When that match comes on, it'll probably get that loud, because over your right shoulder is the Purdue team, and over the left shoulder
is the
Maryland in the stands is his mom and dad, and behind them is Robin Ficker.
Robin Ficker and the Maryland team, and Robin Ficker, he's not going to, let's see, what's he doing? He's tightening up his pants there. Robin Ficker's there. Are there any Maryland fans in the crowd? Are there any Purdue fans in the crowd? Okay, we've got them all behind us, so if you hear the screaming going on, those are the fans in the stands. So that's going to be a great one, and this is where, if Jimmy Sheptock can win his match, all the pressure is going to be on Christian Boley at 197 to pick up another victory and really propel Maryland to go on to a really, really high finish. Tell us a little bit about the heavyweights, Tom.
Bobby Telford came in as a number 1 seed, and he's proven it. You know, the thing about Bobby is he's a big kid that wrestles. I think his best position, besides being a big athlete, is on top. He rides extremely well on top, makes you panic, makes bad decisions, and then on his feet puts a lot of pressure, big body in front of you, hand fights you really well, typical Iowa style, is going to hand fight you to death, pressure forward. You know what, I'm getting tired of you banging on my head, I hit a bad shot, he spins behind, then puts that grade right on you. So, just doing a solid job. He's healthy. He hasn't been really healthy since his freshman year. He's been dinged up here and there and everything else.
He sets out different parts of the season. You don't always see him
he hasn't even been in the
anyway.
first part of this season.
He really hasn't.
He's here, wrestling really healthy here at the Midlands, so looking a lot of fun here. But the big surprise in this one for me, like I say, biased as I am, as I used to be a heavyweight, well, I actually still am, but being a heavyweight is Adam Kuhn, a true freshman wrestling for Indiana. You know what? A lot of questions about him. How good was he when he won Vegas? Earlier this year in December, he won the Vegas Invitational, which is a pretty nice little early season tournament. And you wonder, how good was this kid? Was it a surprise? Was it a fluke? There's something going on. Well, let me tell you guys, it wasn't a fluke. It wasn't a mistake. He won Vegas. He did a great job. Now here we are in the finals of the Midlands after a big win over Spencer Myers, the trifecta. Greg and I joke back and forth, Three Musketeers, all kinds of great names. But Spencer Myers is a quality opponent, and Kuhn just put the big arm on him and beat him in a solid 4-1 match.
And he beat Eric Thompson, ANAIA national champ. We call him the D1 Slayer back in Iowa.
Absolutely.
11-5.
Okay, we're gonna have to move on because the wrestlers at the next weight class, 165, are coming out and putting their anklets on, and these are two of Steve's favorite wrestlers out there. Stephen Monk of North Dakota State, who is the #1 seed, and then the #2 seed. This is the one where the #1, #2 seeds are meeting each other. #2 is Nick Moore of Iowa, who's another favorite of Steve's, because these guys over here, they're biased, and then I'm the one who's not. So we're going to let Steve take it away on this one. And before that, over in the third place match, we've got Taylor Massa of Michigan going against Pierce Harger of the home team, Northwestern University. And over in fifth place is Horwith against Moore. And Tom's going to be watching that one for us.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Sounds good. We got 165. I've watched Nick Moore wrestle. He's had some big wins this year. Him and Michael Marino from Iowa State, boy, they go back and forth. I think Moore won one last year. Then Marino beat Moore in the Nationals, and then in the duel this year at the end of the match, Moore beat Marino. And I've seen this Moore come from everywhere possible to win matches. So he's going to be real good. He's going to be in great shape. And Stephen Monk just beat Marino with 5 seconds to go in their duel up in North Dakota, up in Bison Country. So Monk, I don't know if Monk's going to be able to toss Moore around. I'm not sure if these two have met before. I don't know. I know Moore's met Marino many times. That's just a common opponent that I know that they've met. And Monk has beat Marino with, like I say, 5 seconds ago, and then he pinned Marino last year at Hilton Coliseum. And I'm not sure if Monk and Moore have met before. I think Marino and Moore are about even against each other. They've both beat each other about 2 times.
While we have
Monk's dangerous.
Yeah. While we have a moment here, I just want to say to the people who emailed us to ask questions or provide us information, we want to thank you for that. You probably noticed that we haven't had the ability to accept emails this time just because of the pressure of what's going on here. You think those wrestlers are under pressure out there to win? What about us to bring you this broadcast? I'll tell you.
We got pools of sweat under every chair.
Okay, we're getting ready to go. Steve, take it away.
Hand fighting here between the two of them. I'd say Moore's a real solid workman-like fashion wrestler, and Monk is too, but Monk's maybe the more dangerous of the two because he's a pinner, and he'll pin and score points right at the end of the match. Greg, Tom, and I all saw that his last match where he was just really wasn't out by a whole lot, and he got 2 takedown, 2 near falls right away at the end. So I got to believe Moore's probably one of those wrestlers that wrestles year-round, and we've all heard the story about Monk. He wrestles during wrestling season, and he goes on with life. Takes out his gear out of the closet once the first day of practice starts. So,
not kind of too sure what's going over here on the 5th place match because Cody Moore he's wrestling signed up unattached for Northern Iowa, but yet he's got a Northern Iowa single on. So I don't. I'm not trying to.
We've seen that situation happen before. Okay, we've got a shot in there by Moore, and is he going to get it? And of course, with Monk being a pinner, what's he going to turn it into?
Monk is on his, just kind of setting on his rear end there, and deep in the shoulder is into the stomach area of Monk is Moore. Monk doing a good job of just scooting. He just kept scooting.
Check that. I want to check that on Cody Moore here. I got somebody just walked up behind me. and said that, no, he is attached for it. You know, just looking at the name. So doing a great job with the first takedown here. Yeah, don't want to get anybody in trouble or get anybody in uproar, calling people and stuff like that for compliance issues.
1:35 to go in the first period. It's still 0-0, hand fighting. Across the neck there's Monk. He's got more. Boy, he's got him kind of tied up. I think, yeah, the ref was keeping track. Tom, he really talked a little bit earlier about not coming across that throat. You know, you got to keep it above the chin.
Yeah.
You drop down below that chin, it's a potential choke situation. So
that was one of the big, not big, but one of the issues that came out in the rules meeting this last summer.
Going to be a little bit more stringent about it.
Okay, a nice
Monk.
shot in there by Moore. He's in deep. It was the same situation we were in just about 30 seconds ago.
Yeah.
Now we've got Monk reaching over the back, and referee calls a stalemate. A little bit quick on that.
Kind of drooping over that body is important. We saw Grahalis in that earlier against Minotti. And
Monk is pretty tall, but I'll tell you what, I think he's got longer arms than his length dictates.
Yeah, I do too. Yeah, he's got those long, like monkey arms. He's got those long arms, the gorilla arms. He can really reach. That's a good observation physically of Monk. He does, and that's probably why he's successful with the cradle.
Yeah.
I know Joe Hiskett was that way for Iowa State back in the. Hiskett was one of the greatest pinners ever, and he could cradle, inside cradle, outside cradle, inside cradle, and it's because of those long arms. Now Monk doesn't know he gave up two already.
Right, that was a quick call, but it was a beautiful shot by Moore. I mean, one of the fastest shots we've seen in the finals, and one of the faster shots in the tournament as a whole.
Monk up on his base.
This is one of the few times that we have a 1 and 2, is it not? That the number one and
there's
exactly.
2 times. This one, and then I think it's the Sheptok match against Lofthouse. Those are the only two where the number 1 and number 2 seeds reach.
Like Tom was saying, so far.
Well, not so. No, those are the only two ones
in the whole finals, right?
In the whole finals, it's just there were only 2. The 1 and 2 are there. Over on mat number 2, this it's a 3-2. The end of the second period, end of the first period, excuse me, a 3-2 lead, and I believe that lead is by Taylor Massa of Michigan, actually wrestling unattached.
Moore takes down.
And not quite sure what Tom wanted from us. He kind of pointing over at the table.
Yeah.
He didn't know where the scorer was. Like I said, not sure what he wanted or what he's complaining about or something like that.
He's voicing his opinion. Up and out, trying to get more, but in on an ankle grab and a tight waist there is Monk. So Monk doing a good job, just kind of trying to get some riding time here. Moore did get the takedown. He had 10 seconds of riding time. Now he has just about down to even here. So Monk's tough on top. Tom Erickson reiterated earlier that he's got these long arms. He can just really grab you and kind of droop across your body. He's got the leg in, trying to. Moore does a good job of keeping him out of that cross-body ride.
Cody Moore over here on mat number 5 is putting a serious ride on him in the first period. Early takedown. He's going to have 2 minutes of riding time, just about 2 minutes riding time going into that second period.
Moore on the bottom, Monk on top. As far as the score goes, it's the opposite. Moore leads 2-0. Monk will start on top in the referee's position. Nice. Both these guys really moved off the whistle. Good reactionary wrestling here between the North Dakota Bison and Moore of Iowa. So Monk tough on top, boy. He's their superstar. Last year they had a great 25-pounder too named Sprinkle.
Morningstar's up in a chair, putting a fist out. Dan Gable with the stall call. So.
Yeah, he's wanting it to go to the stall, but Monk's staying too busy, I think, to call stalling. To me, I mean, it's not like he's just.
You have to make an attempt, and he's trying to throw the leg.
Yeah,
he's making an attempt.
He's busy. He's going to town. He's at work. So
the thing that looks bad right here, he's got that head and arm draped.
Yeah.
You know, and stuff like that. But
right. So. But
Cody Moore over here from UNI, second period, chooses down. He's up and out right away, sitting on a 3-0 lead with a blood timeout going over to Holdsworth.
Over on the third place match, Taylor Massa is still leading that one by score 4-3 and also has a minute of riding time.
And so we're going to start here again from referee's position. Monk on top.
Trying to get back up.
He's trying to get some tilts there too, so that's got to be a feather in his cap as far as keeping that stall call away with him, almost tilting more.
He is over a minute riding time. I know we're second period.
He's tough on top too.
He does have a minute riding time.
He's hard to get out from underneath. He really is. And so
Cody
and he
Moore,
finishes strong.
big takedown on the edge to take a 5-0 lead in the 5th place match over Holdsworth from Columbia.
Monk rode him out. 1 minute, 36 seconds of riding time there for Steve Monk. So 2-0. In essence, it's really 2-1, but now Moore starts on top. You got to believe what he tries to get rid of the riding time. Does he cut him? What's he do, Tom?
Well, I don't know.
What do you think,
You
Coach?
know what? He's from Iowa, so he's going to grind him. He's going to be careful. He's going to be smart on top and grind that riding time point off if he can.
Yeah. Monk needs to get out. In essence, if he could get out within 28 seconds, he's tied up in essence. So.
He just did it.
So basically, we're looking at a 2-2 match, but
right now
he could get that takedown. Got to be real important for Moore to get to finish this deal with a takedown.
Well, let's remember that really fast shot, double leg shot that he did in the corner there. And there he's trying almost the same thing again, and he gets in nice and deep.
Great readjustment. He took the shot, Monk defended it, and Moore reshot.
Now he cradles. This is where he cradles.
Oh, yeah.
He loves this position. Monk's dangerous here. He's got to get his hips up, though.
He's got to beat that shoulder.
Here he goes. He's trying to pull Moore over. He can't pull him over to him for a takedown either.
Yeah, he's got to be careful. But
this thing could go either way.
Moore's got to keep that right shoulder, and his right shoulder's on. If he had that right shoulder in deep.
Pretty good recovery there by Monk, because I think Moore really had the upper hand in that position.
He took that shot, defended, and he reshot right in the middle of that.
Yeah. He caught him way off base. He just walked right into it. It didn't look like it looked pretty effortless, really, for Moore.
Both wrestlers back up on their feet now.
Big outside single shot there by Monk. He's got to come up.
He's grabbed the second leg.
He's got to grab the other one.
Okay.
Takedown by Monk. The number one seed now, technically with the riding time, and there's more riding time going right now.
You know what?
The lead's 4-3, but
honestly,
it's 3-3 in the scoreboard. Tom?
The takedown it's big. Don't get me wrong. It's the riding time that's going to be the pain because he gets away. It's 3-3, but that riding time keeps it a 2-point advantage. So there is no overtime with a quick escape.
So it's
he's grinding out here.
Or it's got to be It
should be the other way. He should got escape. It should be back the other way, 3-2 the other way, because he rode him out. He got the quick takedown first period. Should be 3-2 North Dakota State.
Or 3. Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Good
job, Coach.
It was correct up
Good
here.
job, buddy. Yeah.
It was just not correct on the side.
No. I don't think so.
It's kind of hard. We got lots
I
of
think it was wrong both. Yeah, there's lots.
Well, whatever. They have it straightened out now. We got 42 seconds to go in this match.
It's that riding time. To me, that gets me because Moore gets out. It's 3-3. The worst thing, bad thing happens. He goes into overtime. But if that riding time stays the same, it's a 2-point lead, and escape's not going to mean anything. Because he's going to have to take him down.
Okay, they're again trying to figure out the score and the time. And that they want to make sure these are correct.
Moore got the takedown first period, no escape. He rode him out in the second period.
Monk
rode him out in the second period. Then he got escape in the third and with that takedown, so it's 3-2.
Back to the center in the referee's position, Monk on top.
He's been real successful in the ride, but Moore's doing a good job here.
First time Moore's got to his feet like that.
Yep.
Got a return.
Morningstar wants him in a stall.
Oh, nice.
Nice throw down there by Monk.
Leach, he's got to throw the leg, otherwise they ding him here. I'm with Ryan. You might get a ding here, but
it's because he's hanging on that leg. Maybe not,
Making a
Moore did a nice throw roll there. A roll and a throw.
They were both off the ground.
Yeah, they were. It'd be a good picture if you clicked it right.
That's a situation where I bet you the referee's about to give him a call. Moore did that roll and flipped it out of it. He made him force him to wrestle. Wave off the call.
It might have saved Monk, actually, like you say, really, with that. So Monk's got to bring him back down. Some real strong stand-ups there by Moore, but trying to throw Monk now. Monk's on top. He's on you like a rat on a Cheeto, buddy.
10
he is,
seconds,
man.
10 seconds left.
He is like on you like a rat on a Cheeto, buddy. He's tough on top. I told you can clinch. Wow.
Comes out with that.
That's it. 2 minutes and 17 seconds of riding time.
Okay, a nice job there by Monk.
First champion for North Dakota State. First one. Monk's tough, man.
And this went according to the seeding on that with the number 1 seed, Stephen Monk of North Dakota State winning that over the number 2 seed, Nick Moore of Iowa.
A real tough Nick Moore, so that's a big win. And that could help them, because I got to believe they won't meet each other the rest of the season. I'm not sure. I don't see North Dakota State on Iowa's duel.
That RPI, in terms of wins and the way they do the formula,
they're going to do the seeding.
And then, like you say, the seedings, that's going to be big and help them out. As I look back over here over my shoulder, we kind of got caught in the focus here in the center mat. But Cody Moore from Northern Iowa has now opened up a 7-0 lead. Closing it out here at the end, he's going to end up winning this thing with the riding time point.
Major.
8-0 over Holdsworth from Columbia. So Columbia with the 6th place finish. Not a bad job by Columbia, but you know what? I've kind of mentioned this here and there. I've talked to different coaches from the Northern Iowa staff, Tully Thompson, the different Schwabs.
Sure.
Well, we got so many guys. You know what? That's a great job by their part.
Yeah.
No question. I've seen plenty of Panthers throughout the tournament, but I've definitely seen plenty of Panthers here in the rounds today. So yes, they've done a great job, but they're just being modest.
Yeah, they are really. Schwab's brought a lot of people over here too, haven't they? A lot of Northern Iowa Panthers.
Okay, we've started the 3rd place bout at 174 pounds. That's Hayden Zillmer of North Dakota State, and he's going against Brock Gutchess of Southern Oregon from the school in Ashland, Oregon, which is a very good wrestling school, but has not made it into the upper echelons of the advertising and the media and that, but a good representation here at the Midlands tournament.
Mike Evans, the #1 seed at 174 versus Shane Hughes from Columbia, surprise, from Columbia University in the finals.
Unseeded.
Unseeded. This is the second unseeded of the finalists tonight coming in, doing a great job where he ended up beating Brock Gutchess in the semifinals, in a great match. But
at the end, I think Brock led that most of the time.
In on a high crotch and turned the corner, had his knee in a little trouble. Evans working hard to finish, step across.
Nice trip. Let's see if he gets it.
Jumping around the waist.
Oh, they got the touch, so that's according to the new rules that we have.
Tripoded down, I suppose, when his hand hit. That was the difference maker.
Control the leg, hand around the waist. Hughes dropped the hand. Thank you, 2 points. The new touch rule, like Greg said, there's no reaction time. You wipe a fingernail on the mat, it's takedown.
Yep. We got another North Dakota State Bison, as Greg said a little bit ago. So the Bison showing up here to the great state of North Dakota. Against Gutchess from
riding hard on the
Oregon.
ankle, Evans riding hard on the ankle, doing a hard jam, trap time. Hughes think he's going to go out of bounds. Evans traps the wrist, rotates him up for a quick cheap tilt.
Wow.
With a 3-point near fall. I think he gave it a little early. He still had the arm trapped. He cleared it. Okay, gotcha. He's up 5-0.
Fast.
You know what, guys? I think out of all of our finalists, looking at it, Hughes has had the, I don't want to say easiest, but he's done the job. Fall, 6-0, 12-4, and 10-1.
Well, he also had a sudden victory over Riddick. It was one of the most exciting wrestlers.
Shane Hughes, the young man, very painful. He's running the old typical, that's old school right there. That's a power half, cranking it over. Got to be careful here to hit that full.
That shoulder.
Some guys touch over there and they get a full. He's running that power half, not a power, he's just running, cranking a half.
Oh, and he got him over.
You know what? He gets it. He's getting this full count. He's got to settle him down. I think he's going to get a fall here. If he can settle this down a little bit, he's got a whole minute on the clock.
He's got to try to survive this. He's in survival mode.
Boom, bumps him over on his back. Got the 3 count. He's already got his count, so he's just settling in here to try to finish the job here. Right in front of Iowa.
There it is.
There's his fall. 2 minutes and 14 seconds. And the stash, who is Mike Evans, with the fall at 2 minutes, 14 seconds. And ironically enough, he does it relatively right in front of the Hawkeye fans who show their appreciation and give him a hand.
Big pin there.
No, you always wonder if tomorrow we're going to see a whole bunch of wrestlers with a mustache because, as many of you know, Mike Evans of Iowa has a nice
maybe it helps you win. Joe Colon pinned Tony Ramos. He's Mr. Stash.
Right. You know how physical that was? That was a half Nelson, gentlemen.
That was tough.
That's as old school as you can get.
Yeah, exactly.
I teach my grade school kids. That's one of the first things you teach them is a pinning combination, a half Nelson.
That's
and
tough.
You know what? He ran it over, did a great job. It just goes to show you that some of the old school stuff still does work.
Okay, over the 3rd place bout, we've got a tie score now. It just got tied up in the 3rd period, 1-1, and that's Hayden Zillmer of North Dakota State. He's going against Brock Gutchess of Southern Oregon. They are tied in the 3rd period, minute and 30 seconds to go.
These guys traveled a ways from here. Southern Oregon, of course, farther North Dakota, but they both traveled through over the prairies and through the hills and over the Rocky Mountains.
Talked to Ken Kraft before the session started, the final round started, and he goes, you know what, we've got more West Coast teams than we've had in a while.
Isn't that nice?
We got a bunch of West Coast, North Dakota, Southern Oregon. I mean, so we've got a few.
Cal Poly, California stuff.
Bakersfield. So we've got
California.
A few more of the out west teams than we normally have.
Okay, we've got
Boise State.
We've got Zilmer out there. He's got Gutches' leg up, and he's trying to do the trip on it. These are two tall wrestlers out there.
Tell you, that North Dakota kid is tall. Head-butted.
They just butted heads. They both were trying to counter on, or move on this thing. It was all accidental, but it was a good headbutt. I felt it over here. So
Zimmer's tough.
Yeah, he's still got
number 2 seed.
He drops down and grabs Gutches' legs. Actually was in a better position before than he is now, but he wasn't going anywhere with it, and he had to make a move. So they go out of bounds, back up, and they're still tied.
I got to believe Zilmer and Monk works out. What do you say? They got to be feeding off each other. That's a good practice partner. Okay, Zilmer and Monk.
Okay, we've got a blood timeout, so let's check out the match
Maybe
going
from
on
the
number 5.
Might have been from that headbutt.
Let's see how we're doing on mat 5 while we're waiting.
Match number 653.
Okay, that's
Epperly and
that's Brooks.
Ligo.
Oh, no, it's Liger. Epperly. Okay, my fault.
Ligo and Epperly.
I don't know if you can hear us, but Mr. Ficker is kind of getting the Maryland crew started already because Sheptok, Greg's going to walk us through Sheptok's match right here, and he's getting them fired up early.
Okay, so again, this is the second. I've told you before, this is the second match that we're going to have here where the number 1 seed is meeting the number 2 seed. The number 1 seed is Ethan Lofthouse of Iowa. The number 2 seed is Jimmy Sheptok of the University of Maryland. And they've both really done well throughout this tournament. Jimmy Sheptok, I've seen several times being an East Coaster myself, has the best tattoo of anybody in this tournament so far. So he gets the credit for that. He is shorter and stockier than Ethan Lofthouse is, although Lofthouse is no lanky guy himself. He's got plenty of muscle where it is. But
he reminds me of the Edinburgh wrestler a couple years back that was real effective and had the tattoo up there. I can't remember his name, but the Edinburgh kid.
Yeah. Well, I watched Sheptok last year here at this tournament. Then a week or so later, I saw him out at the what was it? It was not at Maryland. It was out at American University when Maryland wrestled them. Here we go, getting ready to go. Ethan Lofthouse, Jimmy Sheptok at 184. And this is where Maryland needs to make its move. And as Tom mentioned to you, we have the Robin Ficker, the Maryland Screamer, behind us, and you're probably going to be able to hear him.
Like that.
He's actually sitting as much with a bunch of Purdue wrestlers, but there are quite a few Maryland fans behind us. They brought a contingent out with them.
They did.
Okay, Sheptok down on his knees right now, and we got a little bit of a one-arm sort of Russian type tie by Ethan Lofthouse. Now they break apart on that.
Surprisingly enough, I talked to the heckler a couple times away from the mat. He's easy as going. Actually, he's got a sense of humor.
I talked to him as well. And, actually, his son wrestled in the Maryland suburbs where I coached the Georgetown prep team there for many years, and I spent time with both his son and with Robin, and they're quite congenial when you talk with them.
Looking down the third place match, looks like they're going to go into overtime.
Sudden victory. Here we go. Sudden victory between the North Dakota Bison and the Southern Oregon. Do we know what they are? The Beavers? No, that's the Oregon State Beavers.
Yeah. Okay, back to the center match there. Nothing is really happening at the time. They've got some real collar tie-ups there, and they're forehead to forehead, really, and now side to side heads, where they're not being able to change their level on that to try those shots. Now we've got a Russian tie by Lofthouse on it, a nice Russian tie on it, but remember, he's going against the shorter and stockier wrestler, and Jimmy Sheptok of Maryland breaks away from it. They go right back into the collar tie, and we go back right into that Russian tie by Ethan Lofthouse as well. The same situation we were in 10 seconds ago.
Wow, Gutches is going for it.
They had locked up
on mat 3. Threw a headlock to his back. Zilmer rode him through, got out of it, then took a shot off on the edge. So Gutches is going for it here in overtime.
These two are after each other. The North Dakota kid is Zilmer. He's so hard to get down because he's so long. He sprawls. He's in another county.
Okay, we've got a front headlock by Ethan Lofthouse, and he spins around to try to make that takedown, but goes completely out of bounds, and the referee brings him back. So no score with 1 minute to go in the first period in that, but it's not that there's no activity. These guys are probably getting tired because they're just using a lot of pushing muscle out there.
Similar builds. They're locked up again, Tom. A lot of body lock in there. Look at there.
Gutch is digging for it.
Okay, we're talking about the third place bout. That one.
Look at that. You can pin out of bounds, guys, so keep going, right, Coach?
He hit the floor, I think. That's why he hit the hardwood.
Right, yeah.
Legal going over here with Zach Epperly in a nice little barn burner. It's a 6-5 match with Epperly wrestling unattached over there with the lead here on the 5th place match at 174.
Yep, for Virginia Tech unattached.
Legal deep in the shot, go out of bounds. So 3rd period.
Okay, we're back to the center match there. I have to say that I don't know that I've really seen a good shot by either wrestler at this point yet. We've seen the Russian tie-ups by Ethan Longhouse, and that's the end of the first period. Is 0-0, and that's basically what the score should be, because we really didn't. We saw a lot of pushing and shoving, which would probably favor Sheptok, this shorter, stockier wrestler, but we didn't see many moves at all. Okay, start of the second period, Ethan Lofthouse in the down position. The whistle blows, and Lofthouse is trying to turn in on Sheptok. Now he's standing up, he turns and he gets out, so a 1-point lead for Ethan Lofthouse of Iowa against Jimmy Sheptok of the University of Maryland.
Talking about coincidences, Steve just pointed out, Gutches and Helmer
have
already wrestled in the quarterfinals with Gutches throwing him with a headlock and pinning him. So I think Helmer's doesn't want any part of it this time. So
he's got a little
Zilmer, sorry, not Helmer, Zilmer.
Zilmer's trying a little Payback Incorporated, maybe getting a little vengeance back on that match. So.
Here we are closing out at 174 in a 5th place match. Epperly unattached gets the win.
This Zilmer's good, though. I tell you, I love Gutch's ability to throw people, but Zilmer's tough. And he lost to Gutch's earlier in the tournament, 1 minute and 22 seconds to a pin to Gutch's. So this is a rematch, guys, for 3rd. These guys have already met in the tournament.
Okay, we're not telling you too much about the championship match because not a lot has happened.
Was that amazing, Tom? Somersault from the feet by Gutch's. And wow.
Yeah, man, I apologize, Greg. Greg does. They're not giving us a whole lot out here, and
first and second. Sorry,
I just said that. That's where all the action is. But
basically, collar tie, push and shove, collar tie, push and shove.
Right.
So, and the other one's a barn burner.
Right. When something happens on the championship match, I will tell you.
Oh, Zilmer, stall right away as he came in there. I don't like that. Do you, Tom? Yeah.
Well, looking down there, he had the leg up. If he didn't try to finish, he didn't. He dove down in to finish the leg, and he got dinged. I think that's wrong.
Yeah.
He made an attempt.
Yeah, exactly.
If he held the leg up there, I agree with you.
So what do you expect him to do, really, is what you say? What do you expect Zilmer to do? I mean, he did his part, but let's see here. Does he get revenge? I think it is. It's a revenge match. Zilmer beats Gutch's second time. Okay, so Zilmer got stuck by Gutch's first time, pinned, pardon me, and then street terminology there, and then Zilmer come back and won 2-1 in sudden victory. So little revenge there, Payback Incorporated.
Okay, we're starting the 3rd period now in the championship match between Ethan Lofthouse and Jimmy Sheptok, and Sheptok is down at the bottom there. Now he's behind by 1-0 by virtue of an escape in the second period by Lofthouse, and now he escapes and gets his 1 point, so we're tied at 1-1. We really don't have hardly any riding time at all.
1 second.
1 second of riding time difference, so forget that. 1:45 to go in the 3rd period, and they're back standing again, and as we've said just to you in the last couple minutes, in the standing position, not too much is really actually going on between these two, and they're in the same situation before. They're forehead to forehead, just pushing on each other. Two strong wrestlers, and maybe that's their style, but they're matching up so well that they're not getting anything done.
I got the visual of two Rams butting heads on the field, trying to prove who's tough.
That's a good one, I'll tell you, because that's what it looks like. And now they're getting a side-by-side headlock on,
we always go agricultural in Iowa, like two big limousine bulls out there in the pasture.
Right.
Pushing each other back and forth.
Okay, they move the second. 1 minute to go, and the referee is starting to call out to them to start making some action here. And I think somebody might get called for stalling if this goes on much longer. 49 seconds to go, still no shots. There's a half shot by each wrestler. Neither one of them would have been successful by any means, and they're back to tied up. But there's another one by Lofthouse. He's starting to pick up the pace a little bit, but not any true shots.
Basically, not only their body type's the same, but their styles are the same. So even the exact same shots. They push the elbow up, slide by, and try to grab a leg.
two just big young bucks out there banging away at each other. Neither one wanting to give an inch.
Okay, 20 seconds to go. I think we're going to be going into overtime. Remember, there's only 1 second of riding time, and I don't even know who that's in favor. The red wrestler, I guess that would be
Sheptak.
Yeah, Sheptak. So no, the red Lofthouse. Excuse me.
No, that's so on me.
They're back to the center. 6 seconds to go, and we're going to go into overtime. Neither wrestler wants to try anything here. They're even slower than they were before.
Sudden victory.
So we're going to 1 minute. Sudden victory. Whoever gets the takedown gets it, but we haven't seen anything close to a takedown so far.
Not really.
And I'm wondering whether we're going to waltz through this 1 minute and then go into our 2:30-second tiebreakers and that. In which case, both wrestlers got easy escapes on that. So let's see. There's a shot in by Lofthouse. That's probably
the match.
Probably the best one of the match, just like Tom said, and the one that got the furthest in. But
then a decent reshot by Shipwreck, not quite as deep as Lofthouse's.
So we have to say or hope that they picked up. They're going to pick it. There's a shot in by Sheptak. He's in tight on that single leg. He's going to get it. I think. No, a nice turn by Lofthouse. They're at the edge, and Lofthouse does a somersault underneath it. But Sheptak, if he can pull his ankle out, he'll get it. But I don't know if he will. I think he's going to get it. There, he's got it. A win for Jimmy Sheptak of the University of Maryland. And the Maryland wrestlers and the Maryland Screamer go crazy. And that's a nice win by Jimmy Sheptak in overtime. It was only the second true takedown shot by either wrestler, and it counted. The first one in the overtime that was tried by Lofthouse didn't work, but the second one by Jimmy Sheptak did, and a nice win for Jimmy Sheptak, and that's that victory for Maryland we talked about in the team race.
Exactly, like Greg said, Lofthouse took a shot. Sheptak took a better shot when he got into the overtime.
And that leg free was big for him.
And I'll tell you, if the Maryland fans think that they're going to get a rest, they're not, because Christian Boley is coming out next.
Against Atwood from Purdue.
Okay, and remember, and you can hear the crowd going here for Christian Boley. This is going to be a great match because
you got your Maryland people sitting right next to your Purdue people.
Right next to the Purdue people.
And the Purdue people are making noise, and the heckler's making his noise with his Maryland fans.
Okay, and fortunately there's an aisle between the two groups there. Okay, Atwood, we hear the screaming from the net. Okay.
You gotta love this. This is what makes our sport so much fun, folks.
This is already a good match. It hasn't even started yet. What can I say? And I have to say that I think we're going to have a good match out here. Okay, the fact that Atwood got out here, because of the injury to Gonzalez, I don't think that's going to be a factor. I think Atwood's going to do a great job out here.
He's tough. He's beat Boley.
The last time they wrestled, which was last season, Atwood did beat him.
So what can we say? There's a little vengeance probably on Christian Boley's mind for that one. So this has all the elements of a great match because both, especially Christian Boley,
a lot of fan noise for both people.
Right.
By the way.
I know Christian Boley, being an East Coaster, and I've seen him and I know him a little bit better in that, and he is just extremely fast. He can shoot and light up the whole place.
Of course, Tom knows Atwood good.
One little side thing here, they got a great official out there, and Keith Pullman calling this match.
Okay.
So he's going to be pretty clean. He's going to make him go out there and stay out and busy and stay wrestling.
Okay, there's a shot in there by Christian Boley, but they go out of bounds. That's our first shot, which has got us a lot more ahead than the match before, where they didn't get the first shot till the overtime. So Christian Boley, who is fast as a cat, fast as lightning. What can you say? It's hard to describe how good he is, how strong and how fast he is. Did his signature move, but a nice counter by Atwood on that, by Braden Atwood of Purdue.
Atwood doing a great job. The last two instances where he took him out of bounds, he gets that little Russian 2-on-1 tie.
Yeah. From what I saw of Boley this year, when I say this year, I'm talking about this tournament. It's the first time to see him this year. He's wrestling better than he did last year when I saw him. I saw him 2 or 3 times last year. Okay, we've got 2 minutes to go in the first period. There's still no score, but we've had some good shots by both wrestlers out there, and they're starting to move. These are the big guys, 197 pounds. Remember, you're listening to Takedown at the 51st annual Ken Kraft Midlands tournament.
Down on the third place match, we have Nathan Burrock wrestling unattached.
Here's a shot. There's a shot by Braden Atwood, and he gets the takedown. he basically knocked Christian Boley down and spun behind, and now he's riding him heavy as can be. He's squeezing Boley's legs, not preventing him from sitting up, and he's got Boley laying flat on the mat. He's got both wrists tied up as well. There's no place for Boley to go.
That's one of Atwood's biggest assets is he's tough on top.
Okay.
He will grind you on top.
And he is already doing that. Christian Boley.
He's got heavy hips.
Yeah, Christian Boley cannot move. Cannot move at all. He's Atwood's got a figure 4 on his leg. He just let it go now, but he had the figure 4 on the leg, was pressing down with heavy hips, and they go out of bounds. But a beautiful takedown by Braden Atwood, and some fantastic top riding there and stuff. It's just amazing. Okay, so they go back to the center. Christian Boley is down. Remember, I told you he's fast. And he tries a somersault, tries to spin in, but Atwood holds him tight. And now Boley gets around and gets Atwood's legs, but Atwood's still holding on tight.
You know, if you can hold Boley down, you're a good rider, because he's got legs like tree trunks, guys.
We just had a locking hands out there by Atwood, but the referee didn't see it, so we're going to go ahead. Okay, Boley is up, and they go out of bounds.
Atwood is now over a minute riding time. He's got 103 in the ride time with 38 seconds left.
I got to believe Boley's not used to being rid out.
Right.
This Atwood is good. Boley's got tree trunk for legs, so he's used to being able to stand up. I'm sure it will against most opponents.
Back to the center there. The referee blows the whistle, and Atwood is doing a good job of holding Boley down. Boley does a somersault again, tries to peel and get out, and gets out. Okay, so 1 point for Christian Boley.
2-1.
He's got 25 seconds in this first period to try to get a takedown and take the lead.
It'll be interesting to see how much Boley opens up now, knowing he's actually trailing in this match by that 1 point.
Okay, and he's they're wasting a little bit of time out there, which
going
is
out of bounds.
That's to the advantage of Atwood.
Minute 14 seconds of riding time for the Purdue Boilermaker.
Which effectively gives him a 3-1 lead, but we're only in the first period.
Look for Atwood to hit a little shuck out of this position. Don't think he'll do it now. There's only, a second left. Look later in that match, on that little collar tie, that over tie he does, he shucks it off, the little slip on the side.
Okay, and that ends the first period. We get the choice here. Let's see who's going to get what. Okay, what do we got? Atwood is going down in the down position.
Yes.
Start the second period.
Big match here. See if I'm sure Boley liked to at least ride 15 seconds, so get this riding time underneath. So you get a lot of Purdue guys behind us.
Okay, Atwood standing up. Boley usually lifts his opponent off, but Atwood is a little too big for that. They go out of bounds.
That Atwood's good. I love his hips, boy. He knows where he's at. He's great with his hips. He is, isn't he? Boy, he's just, even on the bottom, he gets those hips out and he throws his opponent. And Boley's a powerful guy.
They're back to the center now again. Remember that Atwood is still down. Okay, the whistle goes and Atwood turns in. Boley's trying to lift that leg up. He's wrestling a little loose. He needs to score some points here, one way or another. And Atwood gets the escape out there. Boley let him out. That now makes it 3-1. With riding time, it's actually 4-1, but we're still only in the second
55 seconds of riding time.
Okay, so we don't have, okay, that's right. It went down under the 1 minute.
But, boy, I tell you, if you get a takedown and bring that buck up over a minute, Boley's really got his work cut out for him. So
let's see what Boley has right now.
He needs
to get a takedown right here to go into that third period.
He really does, because
there's that shot. Greg was talking
about. There's a shot. Boley. He gets a
2 count, 3 count.
And he's getting back points. He's going to get 3 for that. Let's see, he's going to get 3.
Wow.
So
tough for Atwood.
A 5-point move, and that's going to put Boley up by a score of 6-3.
And he's getting rid of the riding time.
Okay, and he's got a minute, though, so there's still time for something to happen.
That's a big one right there. The near fall's big, the 3-point, because I think Atwood's going to come on top in the third, but let's see. We're not done.
Right, that's not uncharacteristic of Boley to get a 5-point move because he is so strong. If he can fly in there and get that takedown.
Just like you talked about, explosive on his feet.
If he can get in there, he can knock a guy down right onto his back, and that's exactly what happened here. And right now, I have to say that Christian Boley's doing a good job on Atwood as far as riding him. He's got Atwood's forehead down on the mat.
And until then, Atwood had been dictating the match, really. He'd been doing the dictating.
Okay,
so
now Atwood gets up and out, so it's now 6-4, and I think that Christian Boley's saying he's got a 3-point lead, and he might as well let him go and not take the chance of getting reversed.
He needs to get a quick one here. He could. 14 seconds to go, but I think they might be content to be 6-4. That's your real score now. Riding time's really not a factor. Just 4 seconds of riding time in favor of the Purdue Boilermaker.
Okay, and the second period is coming to an end.
So what you see is what you get. 6-4.
Right, and a big change.
Good match.
Atwood was in charge of the whole beginning of the match. And
he was dictating.
Boley came back, and Boley is down now in the third period, so if he can get out, which I presume he can.
Well, Atwood rode him for a minute and something to begin with.
But the last time
right here, Boley's got to get out.
But he's going to get out. Turned and he's out. So Kristen Boley gets
up
one
by
more
3.
point.
So right now, Atwood's looking needing 2 scores to win this match, where Boley only has to defend one of those opportunities to win the match.
Right. Exactly. So Boley's in the driver's seat here. Atwood's going to have to bring the heat.
And all those attributes that we talked about, his speed and his strength, are really starting to show.
Atwood's got to put a little more tempo up on here, just like he did in the first period, control the ties, but Boley definitely has picked up the tempo in this period for him.
Okay, a really staggered stance by Christian Boley, which is what he generally uses when he takes that quick double shot on it. They're over at the edge, and Boley is not going to try to make a mistake out here. He's made a shot, it wasn't really that good, he backs out again.
He needs to wrestle smart, because if he overextends himself, Atwood's going to take advantage of it and get his takedown.
Well, we're at the point right now, really close.
Atwood's doing the
time
pushing.
will not be a factor in the match, so Atwood doesn't have the ability to take him down right about going to overtime.
Okay, and I have to say that Christian Boley is backing up, and we may get a warning on
He'll get great observation. I was just going to say that. He goes off one more time, Keith Pullman is going to ding him for this.
Give it to him. So
first step backwards, so that Keith is paying attention to that. Okay, there's a shot.
Atwood gets overextended.
Okay, and a 2-point takedown for
Boley. It was
Boley.
off of Atwood's shot, too. That Boley scored.
Boley got an ankle pick, grabbed that ankle, and with the strength just pulled the feet out of Atwood, and he went down. And
9-5 is the score now in favor of the Maryland Terp.
So we got that 2-point takedown for Christian Boley, and then an almost immediate escape by Braden, and that's what results in this 9-5 score.
It was off Atwood's shot, really.
That was a great job by Boley. Boley did not just shut it down, he stayed passive-aggressive.
And you're going to hear these Maryland fans go crazy.
Purdue, too. A lot of Boilermakers back there, too.
Come on, Keith, throw the token call.
10 seconds to go. We've got a Russian tie by Atwood against Boley. He pushes him out of bounds, and that's a waste of time for the Purdue wrestler. He needs to get back in there and take a shot. 5 seconds to go, and even if Boley backs up and gets another warning in that, forget it. Who cares? There it is. A win for Christian Boley, of the University of Maryland.
9-5.
And a match that really picked up in the end relative to the beginning.
Second period, you called it, Greg. He blew through him in the second period. Atwood, I would say, got lazy, a little surprised, laid on his side. Boley put him to his back for that 3 count. That was what sealed the deal.
Okay, and we have some Maryland fans behind us. I think they're quite happy, right?
Yeah, Purdue fans actually, amazingly enough, they're up. They like their guy too, Atwood.
Okay,
so.
and
that was relatively impressive. I didn't hear Vicker very much.
Well,
so Purdue people kept
a lot of Boilermakers back there.
Right, well, he's up right now waving to the Maryland fans in the upper stands and that, and they're a happy group of people. And I have to say that the Purdue wrestlers have to be appreciative of the great match that was wrestled by both wrestlers, and I think they were. They knew it was a great match, and Robin Ficker out there is he's out of breath. He's been jumping up and down for the last minute and a half.
So 1-0, Burrick leads for third place. 42 seconds to go, I believe, against Bullock. Is that right? I think that's his opponent. Bullock. Nathan Burrick wrestling unattached for Iowa. I think he's in the red anklet. Green for Bullock. And just about 1-0. There's 3 seconds of riding time, so that's really not going to be a factor down there. 21 seconds go in the second period, so they got a whole another period to go on down there for third place.
Good scrap. Boy, the guy you feel, I'll be honest, I'll call it out. Yeah, I'm biased. Braden Atwood.
Purdue.
I recruited him to Purdue when I was there.
It's my alma mater, Purdue.
Recruited those guys there, but you know what? Great job by Christian Boley. You got to give your hat to him. Stay down, stay explosive. Just like Greg said, he's quick as a cat. He blew through Braden, knocked him to his hip. Braden didn't react. I don't know if he was surprised, caught him on the side, and Boley, being as thick as he is, just pinned him to his back with nothing really. There was no technique he used, but just held him.
Right. One of the things you have to remember is that at 197-pound weight class, most wrestlers are not used to somebody coming at you that fast and that with that kind of speed. You usually associate that with the lighter weight classes and that, but that didn't happen here. Now, Tom, tell us, you're our statistician in that. What do you think this is going to do with the team score?
Well, that's going to jump Maryland up. I mean, that's what you got.
2 in a row.
4 points that jumped them up. Maryland was sitting there with 60 and a half points. With the updated, they're going to jump over both Lehigh and Wisconsin. Lehigh is losing down here on the mat, so they're not gaining there either. So
Mulwick came from the backside. He's wrestled 7 or 8 matches.
Sheptock with that win is going to take them to 64 points and put them in 6th place. In a tie for 7th, they move up 2 spots. They jump over 2 different teams, or 3 actually, because they were tied with Northwestern, tied with Lehigh,
past Wisconsin.
They just jumped Wisconsin. So that's a nice little move by the Maryland Terrapins, and
just think of if people listening to the earlier matches now of the woulda, coulda, shoulda type deal. If Myers of Maryland had won against Coons, now Coons won that legitimately, so I'm not saying he should have.
Sure.
And that, but if Myers had won, we would have had those three, the trifecta, trifecta, whatever you want to call it, out there for Maryland, and that would have been even more points. They would have been right up there, probably around about 4th place or so.
If you looking at the brackets and talking to, I just kind of chirped in Kerry McCoy's ear earlier today. Spencer Myers hurt, or Tyrone Lewis. Spencer Myers hurt, so he defaulted out. Yeah. Not only did he just drop down, he already defaulted all the way out, so he got nothing for those guys after that loss.
Yeah, he's
Here we go, the big boys. My first observation right off the bat, Bobby Telford, in 80-90% of the matches, looks bigger than his opponent. And as I look out there right now, I see 2 evenly matched young men getting ready to scrap.
That already is going to help Coons.
Telford does not have that advantage that he normally has, being the bigger, badder dude.
Exactly.
And they start out this match banging and to prove each other that they are a good size.
Oh, boy, a lot of action out here. We didn't see this in even the lightweight match, most of the lightweight matches.
Has Coon lost this year?
Banging, slapping.
He didn't as of a... I don't think he lost.
I think he's undefeated.
Bobby Telford. You got Joe Tauber's the official here. I've known Joe forever. Great official, worked the NCAA championships. He's not putting up with it. He brings it to the center and talks to him about it.
Yeah, no more.
And what happens right away? They clinch and bang heads.
They do, man.
They're going.
They are.
Yep.
Going to have some dented up bumpers here before it's over.
We thought Sheptock went after the Lofthouse. That was only a preview of what the main event is.
They need a Paul Bradley head wrap here before they're done.
Right, and we had a little bit of a shock by Coombs, so that's the only move so far. But he's not holding back. And we said earlier today that Coombs, being a young freshman, is not afraid of anybody.
It's like he just doesn't know any better.
Yeah, he doesn't realize he's young. Nice little pass by
Telford. So each one of them has a little bit of a shot here, and they're going to try to keep that going.
That's one of the moves that work when you get somebody physical pushing like that. That little head shuck and elbow pass up there when you on the head gives you the guy's back and a chance to take him down.
These guys are really tying up tight. They're forehead to forehead in a collar type move out there and stuff. And they are not moving around the mat a lot, but they're expending a lot of calories out there. I can tell you that right now.
You know what? There's a lot of lactic acid coming up there. But on the positive side to it, both kids are both in good shape.
Yeah.
As I watch them through the tournament, watch them wrestle 7-minute matches, they both can go 7 minutes. But I venture to say by the end of this, little fatigue might set in on these kids.
Right.
The other match is Felix down there.
I think
it's Dwyer.
Telford is starting to settle in and be the big guy here. He's pushing Kuhn around a little bit. That was the question. The true freshman, can he take that mental and physical intensity? Telford's been here before, so he's giving a little bit physical. They start out here, neutral in the center, banging and shoving, banging and shoving.
Their foreheads are going to be sore.
One of the things that we talked about a little earlier was that Coons hasn't been going into these matches thinking he's going to lose, but on the other hand, he's in the finals now against Telford, somebody slightly bigger than him.
Yeah, he's got a day to think about it.
Yeah, he's going to have to, once he starts getting pushed and shoved around a little bit, might have to change his attitude a little bit, and we'll have to see. But right now,
change his technique.
Yeah, right.
Really.
right now they're just they're both wrestling a similar style. They're going forehead to forehead. They're grabbing each other's fingers and raising them up and down.
They're leaning on each other so hard that I think if somebody
now
made
Kuhn pushes Telford
a
out.
hard sidestep with a head shuck, they fall right
they're
to
going
the face.
down. Right. Yeah, they're going to face plant them.
They are pushing so hard at each other. As if somebody kind of did a little sidestep shuck or something along those lines, they'd fly right by him.
I'd have to say if this was a rugby match, they'd have that scrum or whatever it's called.
Yes.
And these two guys would be pushing at about the same amount of force.
It
as
does look like a rugby huddle.
There's two rugby teams out there.
I can't say I'm not surprised by.
There's a pass guy. There's that shuck by Telford.
Great recovery.
And counter.
Great recovery.
Kuhn's just
Kuhn was probably a foot away from putting that hand down the post, which would have been 2 with no reaction time. He spins back around, squares up with Telford, no score.
2 seconds to go in the first period, so essentially it's going to end at a 0-0 score. Both wrestlers started out really quick, eased off a little bit toward the end here. They're both going. They both tried shucks right at the end, both unsuccessful.
Here's where the match starts, and we know we started 3 minutes ago, but this is Telford's best position on the mat.
Yeah.
He has an advantage on his feet, but here he's clearly has an advantage over the nation here. He's a great rider. Let's see what he can do with Kuhn.
Kuhn is up, but a nice pickup by
Telford
to get his leg and to see if he can trip him.
Kuhn stays up. That was smart of him.
And
he stayed up on his feet.
He's out in 11 seconds.
Okay.
Big question answered right there on my part. He can't be. He's not an easy ride for Telford. And Telford rides.
He's one of the best.
80% of the guys he wrestles.
His heavyweight. I don't know if there's a better one. Heavyweight, really, in the nation than Telford riding.
You got to like Adam. You got to like what you see here. We don't know how the match is going to end. I got to like it. Here we go back up into our little clinch and scrum. With Telford actually being a little bit more technical on the feet, body fakes, throwing some body fakes, snapping the head down.
Well, you have if he's going to shoot in on the legs, you know.
I don't think either one of these guys is going to take a pure shot. I think it's probably being more an elbow pass or a throw by with an underhook.
Well, one of the things we have to keep in mind is that, last year, Telford is out there wrestling the best in the country in the NCAA championships and all that kind of stuff, and Kuhn's, is out there working out in the room. And
State Finals of Michigan High School.
Yeah, and he's wrestling high school kids. So as far as the amount of experience goes, Telford is way ahead on that, but Kuhn, it just doesn't seem to bother Kuhn's at all. I'm so impressed with him, no matter what happens here in this match.
Showing a lot of savvy, savvy, not panicking, just sitting there grinding away on his feet.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, Telford, I'm not going to say he looks tired. They had a little separation right there. Telford gave him a little look like, you still here, kid?
Yeah. Not that they have the same style, they don't, but this sort of reminds me of when Steve Mocco came in as a freshman.
Yeah.
Out of high school and that, he got a little bit of experience during redshirt, and all that kind of stuff, but he came right in there wanting to win every single match.
Yeah, at the Midlands. He was there at the Midlands.
Right, and we're seeing the same thing out of Combs here, in that it's, again, they have different techniques, different styles and that, but the same kind of attitude we have here for a young wrestler.
Yeah, because I remember
Okay, so there's the end of the second period.
And Felix is defeating Dwyer so far down there 6-2, and I think that's the battle of the heavyweights of the only entries, isn't he? The BB?
Yes.
BB and Boise, and this is the only Boise State entry.
They're the only entries. So Telford takes down. Let's see what Kuhn has on top.
Felix leads down there, by the way.
Kuhn proved that he can't be ridden. Let's see if Telford can kind of return the favor and show Kuhn he can't be ridden.
Yeah, let's remember that Kuhn got out in 11 seconds.
Up early, hand fighting up to his feet. Hand fighting out.
Oh, okay.
He's out in 5 seconds.
5 seconds. Okay.
1-1.
So he's won that one. Again, at the end of the first period, in that they both had some pretty decent looking shucks out there, and that to push the head far enough to the side to possibly drop down.
Some of the most vicious collar ties I've seen in a long time.
Really good shuck earlier in that first period, but haven't seen anything really since. But well, I think we're going to go, overtime. Who's going to make the mistake? Because I don't think either one of these kids are going to shoot. They're
vicious collar ties.
They're gonna face grind and head shuck and stuff like that, and I don't see what's going on right here.
It's a good term. They're just face grinding. They're just going after it. Nice shot there by Kuhn, but look at that sprawl. What do you do about that? I mean, that's hard to overcome.
He's going to have to
be careful right here.
Kuhn needs to come out. He's getting in a cradle situation.
He's got a body cradle, not a head and leg cradle, but a body cradle. He's got to turn that really hard.
He's doing a good job keeping that hand in that inside crotch.
Go back the other way. Oh, that kid's popping.
Oh, look at that. He should have the takedown. Nice throw by. Awesome by Adam Kuhn, and he gets the 2-point takedown.
He was
a tremendous move.
Telford has a body cradle trying to drive him forward.
Push him flat.
Kuhn switches out the side with the leg in and comes out on top.
I have to say, nobody expected that. If somebody told you they expected that, they're lying.
Well, everybody stood up on their feet in the place.
How the finish was impressive, but the setup was even more so impressive. He's sitting in there in a full squat position, holding Bobby Telford in a body cradle on his back, waiting to peek out. Bobby Telford pushed into him. He sat out on the side like a little switch, boot scooted, and popped out on top.
Right. Okay, we should tell you right now that we have a blood timeout. They had to come out and wipe the mats off for about 15 or 20 seconds here, so we're getting ready to go back for the last 34 seconds we have in this match with the lead by Coons at 3-1.
Coons got like gorilla strength.
And as we just told you about 30 seconds ago, that Telford got out in 5 seconds, so we don't know if Coons is just going to let him go or not, and he does. He's out in about 4 seconds this time, so the score is 3-2. Riding time absolutely not a factor in this
head shock.
Oh, and a shot in there by Telford.
Yeah, Telford's got to open up and do something out of the ordinary. He's down a point.
He is, bud.
Great job.
15 seconds to go.
Fights it off. Kuhn fights it off. Telford in a nice deep shot. Kuhn shucks it off.
Kuhn, almost for his own. He could have pressed him down. Kuhn could have got another
Telford
takedown.
Trying to force a headlock.
That's it.
Hey, great finish.
The true freshman.
Great finish by Edwin. The
true freshman.
Adam Kuhn, true freshman, wins Vegas. You're not sure about him. He is your 2013 Midlands champion as a true freshman.
And that kid's tough.
And this guy was wrestling high school kids last year.
Yeah.
A year ago, he's wrestling in his local high school tournament.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure if we're supposed to do this, and we can't tell who we're voting over the air, but we got to vote here for, these are my two so far, and I don't know if we're supposed to put first, second, third by them as far as voting for the OW here. But,
yeah. Pick your top three. I think you're going to have to put a number next to it. Are you voting for me? Is that what you're saying?
Well,
that's voter fraud.
I think you're going to go here, maybe.
Yeah.
Because of the big guys
No.
Okay.
I like that, and that's my number two. That's my.
Yeah, that's first.
That's
second.
What we're talking about. We can't tell you the names we're talking about. We're talking about the OW votes.
Yeah, the OW.
As press row, we can vote on OW. So we're kind of debating. I don't know if we're putting our number 1, 2s, and 3s and stuff like that.
I'll go 1.
You know what?
2.
Yes. I'd
and
agree
3.
With that.
I don't know.
Well, Christian Boley is the one who pulled that match out for Maryland, and you got to give credit to that whole Maryland team. I go not that Maryland. I'm oriented toward that.
I'm
team.
going to go turn this in, guys.
But I think that's a legitimate call there.
Just looking at those numbers right there and what they did and stuff like that. But I'll take that.
Well, Christian Boley started out with a very tough.
Can't say the name.
Okay.
No, I agree. Boley, Russell, great. Sheptock, Russell, great for Maryland. Sorry, slow it down. But did a great job, man.
Yeah.
I'm still excited over the heavyweight match.
Yeah, right.
How about that heavyweight match?
Okay, Mike, good job. We have Mike Allen in front of us here. One of the famous people, and both in refereeing and helping out in this Midlands tournament. Wow. Well, every match is a good one. I vote for every one. Okay, what can I say?
And you know what? I give credit to Telford. Telford opened up with some deep shots in the end himself. He didn't just kind of belly bump the ground and stuff. They did a little face grinding. Yeah. But right there at the end, Telford hit a nice shot. Kuhn defended very nicely.
Yeah.
A phenomenal way to finish out that match.
Okay, let's run through them real quickly. Start at 125. Give a 1 sentence thought on that one. Okay,
Gilman, wow.
Wow, what can we say?
Tough decision for Iowa.
Yeah.
Tough decision for Iowa to make between him and Clark.
Okay, 133 pounds. Cologne, wow, what can I say? Another one.
Another wow. He upsets the number 1 and 2 seeds. That's a really wow. I definitely have to look at him for some other rewards down the line.
Okay, 141, Michael Port.
Yeoman's work. He took care of business. Yeah. Number 1 seed took care of an unseeded guy. It's a solid job.
Just went through on that. Okay, 149, Grahalis and Minotti.
Minotti, took care of business once again.
Yeah,
and against a young man with potential.
Yeah,
I apologize for saying it. I think you and I are in the same.
Oh,
page
we're
with
in
that.
agreement. But the point is that Grajales got himself to the finals. He didn't keep up the momentum that he had in that, but at least he got there. And one of the things we'd have to say is he's got to work on his conditioning, and I'm sure they are. But I don't know why. Maybe I had that same problem. I used to run 6 miles every morning before school. I still couldn't get myself in condition.
But I did like the way Grajales finished the match.
Yeah,
great job, Minotti.
And we give him credit for this tournament. Okay, 157.
57, St. John, defending national champ, won like you're supposed to, defending national champ.
Right.
He wrestled exactly that way. A 9-3 match over Taylor Walsh. Solid job of wrestling.
Okay, 165. We got Monk
with a little funk.
Yeah, Monk with the funk. A great wrestler, and it's really he's the star of North Dakota State, which just recently moved to the Division I status.
Yeah,
he's putting that team on the map.
And Zilmer took third for North Dakota State, so they got some more team points.
Right.
We're kind of giving a little one sentence snapshot of the champs going through the weight class.
Okay, 174.
Evans took care of business. Number 1 seed, wrestling an unseeded guy, just like his partner early in the match. Took care of business. Like Court did.
Okay, I think we can say just about the same thing for 184 and 197. Jimmy Sheptock and Christian Boley, and that they did what they had to do for their team.
Yes.
Okay.
Beat the number 1 seed. Beat Lofthouse.
Yep.
Sheptock did.
Right. So a great job, great performance by
explosive.
The University of Maryland.
Like you said, between the two weight classes, you got two guys, two bulls. I mean, absolute bulls, and wrestle like bulls. They both took basically one shot. I mean, Boley took another one. They take a shot, but they capitalized on every shot they took.
And one of the things you have to remember, these guys are in adjacent weight classes, so I'm sure they bang heads every single day in the wrestling room.
Yeah, like Zilmer and Monk.
Right.
You're looking at these kids.
He's in there grinding away with Lofthouse. I mean, grinding away with Lofthouse. He gets in overtime, takes an explosive shot, wins the match.
Okay.
You gotta like it.
Tom, tell us about heavyweight.
Heavyweight.
What? Tell us again.
I don't want to say wow because it's a cliche. It's an underrated term. Adam Kuhn, a true freshman, comes in here, runs the field. Now, granted, he got some respect because he was the 3rd seed. He comes in here and beats an All-American, a defending All-American from Iowa.
Yeah, tough kid.
At his own game.
Ranked 2nd, 3rd in the nation.
And wins the 2013 Midlands at heavyweight. I can't, I mean, I'm excited. Like I say, I'm biased, everything else, but I guarantee you listen to the crowd when that happened.
They loved it.
Even some of the Iowa fans were like, wow, you got to be impressed and shake your head
You got to give the kid props.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, you got to give the kid props.
Okay, let's let our audience know what's going on here. They're having the award ceremonies for the wrestlers from 165 on up. They had the ones for the lower weight classes during that break that we took earlier today. And so everybody is standing around at the far end of the arena here to watch the presentations of the awards. And it's always a nice ceremony here. The awards are sponsored by people to help finance this tournament. Those sponsors get to present the awards themselves, and I know quite a few of them personally. They're great devoted supporters of wrestling as well as wrestlers themselves. We're going to find out a little bit later who's going to be in the Outstanding Wrestler Award and a couple of other awards that are going to go. The Art Craft Award, which is for the fast. Is that the pin one, or is that what?
Art Craft, is that the Champion of Champions Award?
Champions Award.
Right, we have the Outstanding Wrestler, then the Champion of Champions Award. So
and give us the basis of the Champion of Champions. Are you know that?
We had talked a little bit earlier about Art Craft and what the values and the great person that he was, and he was a champion himself. And I think that award basically embodies that. That embodies the total student athlete, the total. The total complete package. The guy who represented himself on the mat, off the mat, but he also had to win.
I have to say that Tom and I were both lucky in the fact that we did note Art Craft. Many people do not. He died at a young age, passed away. The brother of Ken Kraft. And you know, we both had that good fortune to know him, and I think it was great. As much as, you know, just think of two brothers, Ken Kraft and Art Kraft.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people now, because Art passed away a long time ago, or don't know, they're too young to know Art Kraft. He was just an absolutely amazing person. I mean, he was a great wrestler, a national champion for Northwestern, and it was either 57 or 59.
The big guy here wrestled for him.
And that'd be right. And Tom wrestled.
We had a great conversation. Greg and I had a great conversation about, you know, Ken Kraft and the different stories, and you and I had conversations and stuff like that. And, you know, like I say, it's very apropos for that award to be named the Champion of Champions, because that award embodies the total package of what it takes to be a champion, how to act like a champion, and everything else. And you know what? That's going to be a tough decision. I can give you 4 guys on my short list real quick. They all deserve it, but I'll give you 4 guys real quick that could be in line for that outstanding wrestler champion. You know, you got Cologne, you got Boley pulling out a great win like that. You know, Adam Kuhn is a true freshman winning the Midlands. There's 3 real quick off the top of my head.
Well, while you guys continue on, I'm going to go over and see if I can get an updated team score sheet, okay?
Yeah, that sounds great. That'd be good.
I'll be right back.
Yep, sounds good. And then we'll talk about some more awards that's going to be coming, and then we're going to shut it down for the 51st Midlands.
You award the fastest falls, most falls, least amount of time. I got to think Taylor Walsh.
Got to be in there, maybe.
Got to be in there.
Monk only had 2.
Yeah, Monk only had 2. Then he had some tough grinding matches and stuff like that. But I don't know if anybody else
Tyler Walsh, maybe.
On the backside that is that physical that did that. You know, Bruschetta, he's not one of those guys. I guess you look on the backside. I know Dwyer had a bunch of matches. He had some forfeits. Nope, he's not there.
Cologne had one of the big ones individually, pinning Tony Ramos from Iowa. That was huge.
But the most falls, least amount of time. I got to think.
Mitchell Port had 3. But
yeah, Taylor Walsh with 4. You know, we'll keep scanning. Could be the guy that's going to do that.
Yeah, it looks like we're just kind of looking over the brackets here.
You know, kind of well-deserved for him. We have the
Walsh did it, and
the team champions. I don't know the point total. I wasn't tracking theirs. I was kind of looking for people moving points. But, you know, Iowa with the great job.
Okay, we just got the team scores, the final team scores. Thank you very much. Okay, how do we want to do this? We want to go 10 down to 1. Okay.
There's been some shifting that took place.
Oh, that's right. Okay, in 10th place with 57.5, Indiana.
Wow.
In 9th place with 60.5, Lehigh. In 8th place with 62.5, Wisconsin. In 7th place with 63.5, Northwestern, the one that I said, you know, it's kind of overachiever here. In 6th place with 68.5, Maryland. In 5th place, although we haven't seen them this much in this finals round here at all, is Northern Iowa with 70.5.
Yeah.
Give them a lot of credit for that.
Yeah, Joe Cologne with that pin over Ramos gave him some bonus points there.
Okay, in 4th place, Illinois. Okay, and in 3rd place we get Michigan, and of course,
thanks to Mr. Kuhn.
Mr. Coons won that match at the end. He got how many team points?
4 points.
He got 4 points to let them jump ahead. Michigan jumping ahead of Illinois because they went ahead by 1 point. In 2nd place, second and first, we know about. 2nd place with 102 points, Edinburgh. And in 1st place, no surprise there, what is a surprise is the totals on that, 187.5 points.
I'll have to see what the record is.
Yeah, I just looking at that, you could give some great accolades to Adam Kuhn.
Yeah.
But that's that 4 points because you're guaranteed 12, 16 points to win it in an 8-man place. And Adam Kuhn takes Michigan to jump them over. As we looked at it and we started the round, Lehigh was in 10th place, and they go ahead and jump up to 9th, 1 spot. Indiana jumps up 1 spot from when we started this whole thing. Purdue, locked in right there. North Dakota State was in 12th, and they jumped up 1 spot where Columbia dropped a little bit. They were 11. They flip-flopped into 12th. But you know what? We've said all along, all tournament, Columbia is one of the Ivies, had a really solid tournament. The fact that they're up there in that top 12, top 15, great job. My hat's off to those guys.
Right, and they don't have the recruiting ability they have because of academic restrictions and because of scholarship limitations on them and stuff. So that makes this Columbia team, you know, even more impressive to us and what they have to go through to get to where they are today.
Right, the home team, the Northwestern Wildcats, they start the round in 8th place. They bounced around a little bit. They settled into 7th place. So not a bad job for the home team. They did move up a spot in the final numbers. So you know you got to like the way they finished. And as Greg and I have kind of talked about at nauseum this whole round, they're missing 2 big guns. They're missing 20-25 points right off the bat.
2 guys that could have been very possibly both been in the final.
You know, that 25, like I said, I'm being, because I'm just throwing a number out there. That's 88 points. 88 points puts them in 3rd place.
And Iowa did beat their old record, which was 2007. They had 185 points, and they had 187.5, so they beat it by 2.5 points. The record that they had set at the Midlands in 2007.
You know what? I think there's a team out here we really haven't talked about.
Yeah.
And that's the team that finished in 2nd place, Edinburgh.
Yeah, right. Fighting Scots.
You know, you know what? I get the visual, and right in front of us, you know, people can't see this, but right in front of us is the Hawkeyes.
Yeah, right.
You know, I think Terry Brand's there. I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty sure it's Terry and the Hawkeyes. They just won this thing with a new record, and every one of these guys looks like they're getting ready to go to a funeral.
Yeah, right.
You know, and I think
how are they ever satisfied?
When we look at Edinburgh, I think when they lost Shop, I think they got the same kind of feeling. Oh my God, one of our studs lost.
Yeah.
And the same thing with these guys. One of their studs lost. Well, they had a couple of them let lose, and they're just not satisfied. I like that. It's kind of good, the perspective and the mindset that they have.
Staying hungry.
But in the same token, good job, guys.
Yeah.
You set the new tournament record.
And one of the things about Edinburgh's 2nd place, they didn't get there with just 1 or 2 guys. I mean, they had 2 guys seeded number 1. When they went into the tournament. So obviously they were going to score some points. But some of these backup guys for Edinburgh
Johnny Grushamer, Ernest James on the upper weights.
Right. These guys,
Avery coming up in 84
right.
and anything else.
So these guys who are scoring points in the consolation rounds are the ones that are bringing this Edinburgh team back up there. And so a lot of credit to not just the 2 guys who were ranked high and finished high and that, but to the rest, actually to the whole Edinburgh team. I mean, it was they
got a good AD.
It was a team effort.
Hey, tell me, you know the AD.
You know, really? Yeah. Who's the AD there? Did that guy ever wrestle? Does he like wrestling?
You know what? I'm glancing back down at it. You know, Edinburgh did it with only 5 place winners. You know, but that doesn't, like Greg said, that doesn't tell the whole story. They had a whole team. They had 10 people point getters. You know, only 5 of them placed. As I looked down at the sheet, only 5 of them placed. But like I said, that doesn't tell the story, because they got 99.5 points, and those 5 guys, and they had an 8th place finisher, 2/3, a champ, and a runner-up, I think. So. James was another place winner. Look, they didn't do it with just those 5 guys. It's a team effort. You know, like Iowa, they set that record with a team effort of 10 guys, and Edinburgh did the same thing. But that really jumped out at me. I mean, we didn't really talk about them a whole lot.
Big. Steve Dwyer just got a Cheers Champion of Champions. We'll listen here for this. Try to talk at the same time here.
For an individual who represents all of the qualities.
We're waiting for the call here, and we'll give it to you.
Saying he's doing a great job dragging it out.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Joe Cologne from Northern Iowa.
Joe Cologne. It was just Joe Cologne, champion of champions, voted out by the champions. You know what? Can't argue with it. Can't argue with it. I feel bad. You know, this is one of my kicks all throughout my career, because, you know, I've wrestled, you know, a lot. I had a lot of success in doing some different things, and I always was really upset with some of the media and the people voting. They never wait for the heavyweights to finish.
Yeah, I made sure tonight, my friend, we didn't do that.
And you look at that match right there. You know what? Cologne did something out of ordinary. I think if Ramos just wins that match.
Kuhn.
I'm thinking Kuhn really heavy.
Oh, yeah, big time.
To be honest with you,
no question.
And that's not even just bias.
Kuhn and then Gilman.
That's putting
and
the totality of things
maybe.
together. He's a true freshman, wrestling an All-American, first time in the finals.
Sure.
You know, I mean.
That's it close. It'd be my first and second. And then you know, Gilman would have been in there too, maybe beating Garnett.
Here we go, the Gable extending winner.
Okay, they've just announced that Cologne is also the outstanding wrestler, so he has won both awards.
You got both. Well,
Cologne picking up some
the way we saw it.
Well deserved. Well deserved. You know, you pinned an NCAA finalist.
Yeah, two-time finalist. Yeah, exactly. He got it.
And an exciting move too. I have to say
those
that
underhooks. He was going after those. He was digging them. He was digging those underhooks in from the get-go.
But you know, I think we all observed pretty quickly that Cologne was not afraid. And I know that's probably
no intimidation factor.
He came out there. I'm going to wrestle you. You know, the playground theory. He punched the bully in his nose, and he didn't back down.
Okay, they're now giving out the team awards for third place, and that, as we told you before, is the University of Michigan with 84 points.
That's way too physical.
Yeah.
That award is given by Mr. Jack Lees.
Yeah.
Long-time worker here at and a wrestling coach. He's in the Illinois Wrestling Hall of Fame, and he just happened to be my freshman and sophomore wrestling coach in high school. That was a long time ago.
Oh, well, not that far, was it? Or was it?
Yeah, it was a long
You don't show your age.
A long time ago.
All right, sounds good. Well, we're going to just about wrap it up here.
And as we said, they're going to be giving the second and first place awards, but the cat's out of the bag. We know it's Edinburgh and Iowa.
Sure.
And that's
with a new team record for scoring.
Yes.
The Iowa Hawkeyes beating their old mark of 185 set in 2007. They set a new mark here, 187.5. So we've set it here, and I think we're about done, guys.
I think so, too. It's been a real
pleasure
great, to be with you for these 2 days, and for those of you who've listened to us before and those of you who will listen to us again in the future, we want to thank you for listening in. It is an absolute pleasure and an honor to be able to bring this program to you.
Yeah, it has been great. Greg Zaffos, great job.
Greg.
Tom Erickson, it's been a blast, buddy. I don't know
Greg,
if I can come up to your shoulders.
I want to thank you for letting me sit down and chat with you fellas. I mean, gosh, you know, if you could do this as a job and make money, this has got to be the life. You do something you love and just talk about wrestling, have some fun. Yeah. What a great experience, you know, and talking to the first Midlands participant, the first match in the Midlands, we're talking to him.
Yeah, that's right. Back in the day.
Where is that guy?
I'm sitting next to the guy, enjoying the tournament and talking wrestling and comparing notes with him. How exciting is that? You know, I mean,
it's been great.
The one thing when I went to Oklahoma State, lived in Oklahoma. They don't get it. You talk to anybody that grew up in the state of Illinois that has any ambition in wrestling, and you talk about it. And I remember when I was at Triton, I remember a crazy story here. I'm getting sidetracked. I'm in the kitchen of our house. I'm talking to a gentleman named Maurice Harrison, who was a national champion, was the same year I was at Triton. You know what? We talked about what our dreams were. Not NCAA, not Olympics. We were talking about getting announced in the Grand March for the Midlands.
Sweet.
I mean, you know, how cool would it be to walk out there for the Midlands and be a Midlands champion?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Well, that was above our national title.
That's before all your other accomplishments.
Yeah, that was above all that other stuff, you know, and we were both fortunate to do some really neat stuff later on. But oh my goodness, you know what this tournament is, and over the years you heard, oh, it's this, it's that. This is still one of the premier events at Christmas time.
Yeah,
I know there's another tournament down south, and that's a very good tournament. I'll give them their credit. But this is still the premier tournament. If you want to wrestle somewhere over the Christmas holidays,
it'll always be here. It'll always be here.
This is the place to do it. You know, and you know, and I'm just proud that I was able to compete in it.
You got a lot of records still, Tom.
And win a few matches here. I'm just like Greg. I'm thankful. I lost a bunch too. You know, let's not forget those. But what a great experience, you know. And Iowa comes in. Sandy just announced it, as we already knew. Iowa, new team record. I don't know if you heard that, but what a truly great experience. I was with some great people. My thoughts, prayers are with Scott Casper, who's driving home, driving through a little weather.
Yeah, that's right. He had
to leave us because he had a little weather. He was trying to outrun and stuff like that. And, you know, for myself, heartfelt thank you to Scott for allowing me to sit down with you gentlemen and had a great time, and kind of look forward to seeing you guys. Probably the next time I'll see you guys working is the NCAA tournament in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, unless you go into Big Tens up Madison, Wisconsin or not.
I might be going up there.
Right,
I might be going up there. I mean,
chime in with us.
Yeah, I'm a junkie.
Yeah,
I'm a wrestling junkie.
I'm the same way, my friend.
You know, I want to see some good wrestling, and you know, I'm a little biased. I wrestled in the Big 12, Little 5, however you want to classify it.
Yeah, that's right.
And I coached in the Big 10. So yeah, the Big 10's where it's at.
Sure. Yeah, it's like a mini nationals, that Big 10 tournament. It is.
You know,
it's tough.
I love, you know, talking to other coaches. You know, you want to talk about SEC and football, how great and dominant it is. Well, the Big 10's been doing that for over 25 years, my friend.
Yeah.
So don't talk to me about what the SEC's doing right now in football. It's great, but wrestling's done it for 25 years.
Yeah,
ACC in basketball, nope, can't compare that. The Big 10 in wrestling is the premier conference in the country.
It is, and it's, you know, it's required. Something I like about the Big 10, it's required for every school in the Big 10 to have the sport of wrestling. It's not an option. Now that's where I become a Big 10 fan right there. I think that's cool. I think every conference should do that. That would be something special. I don't think
everybody knows that, and you know, it's not necessarily a secret, but I don't think everybody knows that.
Yeah, that's a good one to know. Well, for Steve Foster, Greg Zafros, the big guy, Tom Erickson, I want to thank everybody for listening today, and been great to work with you guys. And as always, 51st Ken Kraft Midlands Championship won by the Iowa Hawkeyes. Second place, Edinburgh. Third place, Illinois. Good night, everybody.
Thanks a lot, guys.
Thank you.